You're looking at the last great Coliseum, the Bristol Motor Speedway, the side of the next round in the Dash for Cash. And round number 13 of the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series tonight. It is the Glass Mechanic 250. 250 laps, 125 miles around the half mile. That is the Bristol Motor Speedway coverage of the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Good Monday evening. I am Wesley Outland. Tyler Dittmer is alongside. Biggles Dean Hopton is our producer director. And we're at Bristol, Tyler, and obviously short track racing at its finest happens here. I think we're going to see a really, really good show here tonight as we take a look at the schedule for this evening. Obviously, Bristol down to the final 3 races before the playoffs begin at round 16.
Yeah, and you know, we're moving on to the short track racing, and then we go to 2 big 2.5-mile circuits the rest of the way, Wesley, Indianapolis and Daytona. A lot of big things, a lot of big storylines, like you mentioned, the Dash for Cash is tonight, but we saw a lot of frustrated drivers with each other after last week's race, specifically Jacob Reeves and Taylor Peacock. Now they're going to go short track racing as we look towards our standings after coming in at week 12. Wesley, there's bad blood between a lot of drivers after last week. Mentioned on the hot lap, mentioned on the door banging download. And it'll be interesting to see if these drivers get into it even more so this week, now that they're going to be in close quarters combating with each other all night long.
The most important thing is the top 20. Obviously, if you got to win and you got to lock, you lock yourself in. 9 drivers have done so. Everyone else from 10th on back, from Hunter Parsons to Steve Barnett, are in by virtue of points. Jose Castellanes and Battering and others, 9 points out of the cutoff. And, of course, that's something that, Tyler, we are going to be monitoring, especially the last 3 races of the regular season in this Dash for Cash round at Bristol, to definitely see if that fluctuates or changes, no doubt. Because the key here is, if you can't get a lock, you at least want to put yourself in the top 20. Here's a look at the race details for tonight at Bristol. 75 laps in stage 1. Stage number 2 will go to 150 laps, and it looks like they've changed it from 250 laps to now 275 laps tonight here at Bristol. So we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, no fast repairs. That's going to be crucial for a short track like Bristol. The no fast repairs, 3 attempts at overtime at green, white checker if need be. It's nighttime, and of course, this will be a very interesting, fun race, no doubt, here at Bristol.
Yeah, it will be, Wesley, and we saw those race details are pretty important. But look at the point standings, talking about last week, Steve Burnett came in minus 32 to the cut line. This week, he's plus 3 on that cut line, sitting in the 20th position. He's the last driver in. So he's got that 3-point cushion there over the drivers in 21st and 22nd. But looking out through the rest of the race tonight, the Dash for Cash drivers, right? Joey Stiers, Chris Cinnamon, Steve Barnett, and Nate Maurer were your top 4 out of Kansas. Nate Maurer won the Dash for Cash last week. He can defend his Dash for Cash title this week. But right now, as we're looking at qualifying, riding on board here with that 34 Jason Bridges, who just put himself inside the top 10 there with his lap. But it's the driver, who's been leading the points all season long, who was called overrated by Brady and myself a little bit last week. That's Hunter Parsons. Looks like he's answering the call here early on. But we'll see if that actually translates to end-of-race success, Wesley. That's been his biggest issue so far this season, with only 2 top 5s and only 5 top 10s as we now enter week 13.
Yeah, no doubt. They're on the track right now, qualifying, trying to find that best lap. Here comes Fred Lester. He got himself a win to put himself into the playoffs, and right now we'll see what the 6 can do as he rumbles down the back stretch. Take a lap on board with Fred Lester, and you can see here, Tyler, this is a very fast track here at Bristol. You get around this place very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, lap times are in the 14, 15 second range, even with fall off. The slowest you'll see probably before pit stops is low 16 second ranges. And these straightaways are so short. They come up on you fast. Now we're see Brady LaBeouf going out for his qualifying attempt. And really is something you see a lot of drivers here on their first lap. They're going to just run this really, really high line on their out lap. He's going to try and hug the fence, get straight off the corner. Now he's going to hit the mark, starting his first lap. He's going to run a high line also his first lap as well, because you can really send in some speed. But I think what Brady's trying to do is just have a very, very fast second lap. So he's going to try and send it in as deep as he can, try to find that late apex, drive it off the corner. Now he's going to go lower here, I would assume. Yep, here he's going to go try to get about 1.5 lanes off the bottom. He'd probably want to wrap it a little bit better. But this second lap's going to be his better lap. Right now he's sitting 18th. We'll see. That's a much better 3 and 4 than 1 and 2 that time for the 24 machine. But it doesn't. Oh, yeah, look at that. Second. Yeah, like I said, Wesley. That 3 and 4 was really solid. Wrapped the bottom much better. I think if he wrapped the bottom a little bit better in 1 and 2, Wesley, he might have put himself on the pole, but just beats out Cole Henriksen for second right now on the timesheet.
Yeah, that transition right there, as you mentioned, when we were on board with Brady LaBeouf, now we're on board with Raul Meza. Just watching them stay off the safer barrier and stay in about a lane and a half in the middle lane, as you mentioned. That's the fast line around this racetrack, and if you can hit that mark perfectly, you can put yourself in a pretty good lap time. Right now, Hunter Parsons is at the top of the board. Brady LaBeouf, Cole Henriksen, Jason Morales, and Robert Richards, your top 5. Here is Raul Meza is finishing up with his qualifying lap. The countdown clock is about to expire here, and we'll get the field set up here. What a great field of drivers also here at Bristol tonight. Close to 30-plus trucks. I think it's about 35, 37 entries here.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of competitive drivers tonight. 37 trucks at Bristol. It's not going to take long if we have a bit of a green flag run for the front of the field. Parsons, LaBeouf, Henriksen, Morales, Richards, all those M1 and Highline Racing drivers to catch the tail end of the field. We could see lap traffic becoming a factor very early on in stage number 1, and being the way it is. So now we're going to ride on board with that swim driver of Brian Chu. He goes out. He's going out late. He's trying to see if the track cools down any more for him. He's going to do the same thing as Brady LaBeouf here, I think. The first lap is going to be kind of a wash. It'll be probably in 20th-ish position range, Wesley, but we'll see what that second lap has for him as he goes around through 3 and 4 here for the first time.
Yeah, Brian Chu, the Daytona winner when the season started 12 weeks ago, week 13 here tonight. And watching Brian Chu now work his way down the back straightaway. We'll see what kind of a lap he puts down in truck number 51, the driver out of Fort Myers, Florida. Here comes Brian Chu down to the line. Where will he end up on the scoring pylon? He will end up outside the top 10 in the 11th position. Brian Chu, he turned a 14.609. Time to beat for the pole, 14.452. If there's any other takers, as the countdown clock is to about a minute remaining here to try to bump Hunter Parsons. If anybody wants to do that, they better do it now.
Yeah, so that's the here thing with Wesley, right? It doesn't take long to get up to speed and do your out lap. Each lap being only 15 seconds. You could probably still leave pit road about now and get in both of your laps. I was interested that Brian Chu opted to run the high line for his second lap as well. You see over a 10th behind Hunter Parsons and Brady LaBeouf, Cole Henriksen, that group right there. But very, very tight field for second, third, and fourth between Brady LaBeouf, Cole Henriksen, and Jason Morales. They ran 14.508, 14.515, 14.516, a very tight grouping. Even Robbie Richards and Steve Barnett ran 14.524 and 14.529. So those top 6 drivers pretty quick, but a half a tenth advantage right now for Hunter Parsons over the rest of those top 6 is pretty significant for him. It's just, can that be sustained over a long run? I don't think we'll see fast laps as quick as that, especially early in this race. I think you're going to see drivers try and settle in, Wesley, but it'll be interesting to see exactly how things play out once we actually get in that race-like scenario. Like we said, 75 laps first stage. Lap traffic will be a factor if we go green for that whole stage.
Well, it looks like some drivers like Lothian and Peacock did not take time, and the field is set. Hunter Parsons was the fast qualifier, and we're ready to go here at Bristol for the Glass Mechanics 250 for the next round in the Dash for Cash, and round 13 for the Nazareth DSR Electric Truck Series here at Bristol, virtually on iRacing. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, the first 6 rows. Hunter Parsons on the pole, Brady LaBeouf to the outside, Cole Henriksen, Jason Morales making up row number 2, Robert Richards from Gastonia, North Carolina, and Michigan, Steve Barnett. Remember Steve Barnett, he's in the cutoff line at 20th. He'll start 6th. Joey Stiers, Justin White, row 4, Adam Leidy, Nate Maurer, row number 5, Daytona winner Brian Chu, Jason Bridges will start 12th in truck 34.
Looking back at row 7, that's the Joker, Joey Doucette, is inside, and the redneck announcer of Jacob Reeves. A very strong performance recently from Reeves, but he has that issue with Peacock last week. We'll see how that affects him this week. Row number 8 has Adam Newbert with Adam Newton. It's the Adam Show. Row number 9 will have Steve Thomas and Chris Blanchard. Row number 10, Kevin Battering with Jeff Johnson. His outside. Row number 11 has Raul Meza and Fred Lester, your Iowa winner. Row number 12 will have Kerry Tribune and the man from up north, way up north, I found out today. That's Chris Cinnamon.
Moving on to row number 13, Timothy Hammond and Huck Wigginton right there. Row 14 will find Phil Pappas and Akami Proctor. Stephen Gregory and Dana Shepard make up row 15. Travis Twitty, Jason Stevenson, row 16. Jose Luis Rivera, Taylor Peacock did not qualify. Neither did Blake Lothian and Brandon Bullock. And that is the lineup, counting also Dan Hagan in the back. 37 trucks. TJ Moore in position 38 is obviously the race director for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series. These drivers will get a couple of preliminary laps, and then we'll get ready to turn them loose. Tyler, what's the deal with the faces on the hood of the truck of the pole machine? Hashtag overrated Hunter Parsons at 15.
Yeah, it's funny. He told me he didn't have a special paint scheme, but he clearly does, and he's a little bit upset being called overrated. There's Brady LaBeouf's mug, and there's my mug on his hood. We'll see how well this pans out for him. You know, I mean,
Tyler,
statistics don't necessarily
lie.
lie. So on the hot lap last week, Wesley, Brady LaBeouf and myself were asked by Jason Morales, who I want to look at this truck real quick. I want to give a shout out to Jason Morales, Glass Mechanic, Mike Morales. They're the title sponsor for the race, title sponsor for stage 2. But that paint scheme is what Mike Morales used to run back out in the West Coast when he used to run his machine out on those short tracks. So that's a tribute scheme for him there and that one machine. Jason Morales for his father, Mike Morales. But you know, Brady LaBeouf and I were asked who are the most overrated and underrated drivers, and for drivers who talk a lot but don't necessarily have performances to back it up, Hunter Parsons' name was brought up. And that's not because he's the points leader. He's fast, and I think he's extremely fast, but he hasn't won a race this year. He only has 2 top 5s in 12 races, Wesley. Statistically speaking, he talks a lot for a driver who also has less points than the last 2 regular season champions did at the same point in the season. So we were just like kind of giving a hard time, but clearly he took a little offense to that with that paint scheme tonight.
Yeah. So I guess you called him out, and he
responded pole,
retaliating, if you will, with the pole position in the faces of you and Brady LaBeouf, the boss of NASRA, on the hood of the truck. So we'll definitely see how all this transpires. Hope you're ready to strap in for Bristol. We're getting one more preliminary lap here before we take green. 275 laps here tonight in the Glass Mechanics 275. I thought it was 250 laps, but it's not. It's 275. I didn't get the memo that changed. Neither did Beagles Dean Hopton. And we are ready to go here for the start as the pace truck drops onto the pit lane here at the last great Coliseum. There you see him winding on to pit road. Here comes the virtual thundering herd down to the line, green flag in the air. It's Bristol, baby. It's virtual, and we're underway here in the Glass Mechanic 250, and it is on between Parsons and LaBeouf, stride for stride into 3.
Yeah, Parsons will clear him here off of 4. Parsons will lead lap number 1. Henriksen now to the inside of Brady LaBeouf. He's going to try and wrestle away that second position. Morales got a good jump. He remains in 4th. Robbie Richards to his inside looking to make a move. We're going to see these drivers migrate further and further up the track throughout the night. We already see the race leader, Hunter Parsons, up there pretty high. Brady LaBeouf's kind of following in his tire tracks. Meanwhile, Cole Henriksen way down on the bottom. That's going to make for some tight racing, but drivers have kept it clean so far.
Hunter Parsons up on the outside lane. Brady LaBeouf on the bottom. Here comes now also Cole Henriksen with some retro-looking colors on the 101. Richards up on the outside lane. To the bottom comes Steve Barnett. Barnett needs to have a good run, Tyler. He's one of those drivers, again, as we mentioned, in the cutoff line. He's in 20th, 3 back, and the way he runs tonight, consistency and stage points are crucial for the number 27. You're on board with him in 3rd right now.
Yes, they are, Wesley, but at the same time, don't be too overzealous in making moves, right? He's to the inside of his own teammate, Cole Henriksen. You see Brady LaBeouf trying to take the battle of Hunter Parsons. We're 2x2 essentially at the front of the field, but this is really risky only 6 laps into the race. You don't want to burn up your right front one by staying on the bottom, but also at the same time, don't put yourself in a position where you may get in a wreck. You see Brady LaBeouf a little bit loose there off of 4. He's going to slide back in now for second, but Barnett gets a good run. Can't clear LaBeouf off of 2. But yeah, we're catching lap traffic fast. If you look at that track map already there, Wesley, I mean, they're almost on the same straightaway as the tail end of the field.
Here come the leaders down on the line, and they're already halfway down the back straightaway, if you will. The leaders now working the back stretch, and the leaders, or the tail end of the pack, working now off 3 and 4. So yeah, the Thundering Herd coming fast to the lap machines with Hunter Parsons leading the cavalry. Brady LaBeouf in second. He's down to the inside. He wants to run for the lead. We're working 10 laps in this time, Bob, when they come to the line.
Yeah, you really only have about 2 or 3 corners before you can clear these guys. Otherwise, you need to probably see the position really close there between the 2 of them. Brady LaBeouf should be able to clear if he has a good 1 and 2. It looks like he will. Brady LaBeouf will take the lead here off of 2. And now new front man, that's going to be Brady LaBeouf. But if you're Hunter Parsons, just kind of right here. Let LaBeouf burn up his stuff. Just follow for a little while. We're only 10 laps into this, Wesley. No pressure at all. I will say Peacock didn't qualify because he wasn't allowed to qualify due to some penalties from last week. So he had to start at the back. But the Bristol, he's won at Bristol before. He's a very talented driver. He just has to be very careful working his way through the field.
Yeah, starting shotgun on the field because of a race penalty at Kansas last weekend. Taylor Peacock unable to qualify. By the way, the only driver that's got multi-wins there, the All-Star race at Atlanta, the most recent race that he took.
Caution.
Right now, 34th, and we got a yellow flag on the racetrack. Caution is out. We'll find out why we're under the first Serve Pro yellow flag, and it's a big stack up. Brandon Bullock involved. Adam Newbert is caught up in it. Chris Blanchard might have got a piece of it. And here, Justin White in the 2. Here's a look at a replay for why we are under the yellow flag. The 4 from Tacoma, Georgia. Adam Newbert. We'll see what happened here, Tyler. Look at him go around.
Yeah, it goes around right in front of Kerry Tribune, saves it, so Tribune gets really lucky. And Nate Maurer gets a piece of it. There's Tim Hammonds involved. Dana Shepard, Bullock, big contact. Dan Hagen, big contact. 32, Twitty goes around. And, you know, add insult to injury, I believe that's Jason Stevenson getting involved.
Yeah, Taylor Peacock stopping.
Peacock, no damage, though. That's huge. A lot of chaos there. A lot of good drivers taken out early. Newbert's night's pretty much done. He got loose and tried to overcorrect, and the truck just came back out hard to the outside wall there, Wesley. That's a rough night there for the driver of the number 4 machine. And really, it sucks for everyone else behind him who got caught up in that, right? Dan Hagen, Jason Stevenson, Travis Twitty, Dana Shepard, all those drivers. Just very unfortunate situation for them because there's nowhere to go at this track.
Only seeing drivers with damage coming down to the pit lane. We're just getting started at Bristol. We're back with more in a moment. The NASCAR 360 Racing Network.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Serve Pro caution flag number 1 out. By the way, thanks to Serve Pro Fire, Water Cleanup, and Restoration. Let Serve Pro take care of all of making something being completely destroyed be brand new again. More details are at servepro.com. Tyler Dittmer, I'm Wesley Outland. We're back here at Bristol. 15 laps, working now lap 16 on the board. Brady LaBeouf is the leader. Got around Hunter Parsons around lap number 9. And we were saying during the TV timeout, Tyler, that fairly calm race before we saw that big stack-up skirmish off the corner. But other than that, it's been a fairly clean battle. And like you said, let Brady LaBeouf get around Parsons. You've still got a long way to go here, even stage 1, but the race in general.
Yeah, and really the incident itself wasn't even caused by two trucks getting into each other. It was caused really just by Adam Newbert kind of getting loose on his own and overcorrecting. So we thought we'd see a little bit more beating and banging. Really, we haven't, which has been great. Put on a great show so far. So we're about to go back.
They are getting ready to make their way back to the Geico restart zone. Pace truck is in. Green flag back out. By the way, we were talking with our production crew off air. I have not been feeling well the last couple of days, and obviously, if you can tell, my voice is on the cringe of little raspiness, if you will. But the show goes on, and I'll hang with you guys as best as I can as we go back to green. Brady LaBeouf pulls out to the top spot. Hunter Parsons now the second. Hendrickson and Barnett, they're going to battle. 3-truck tango now as they work out of 4 for second.
Yeah, tight battle there for second for 3 teammates, all from Highline Racing. They got their boss right behind them. That's Jason Morales to the outside. Robbie Richards, that's Brady LaBeouf's teammate to his inside. Then you got a pair of swim trucks behind them with Joey Stiers and Brian Chu. So top 8 spots belonging to the 3 major factors, 3 major teams so far this season. With Highline mission-wise, you see Steve Barnett has gotten around Hunter Parsons, so that second position is now belonging to the driver who's on the cut line. He's going to go after Brady LaBeouf, but now we're seeing a big stack up. Stiers to the inside of Morales, a little bit of contact there as they roll through 3 and 4.
All this going on with another lap on the board here this time by. It'll be lap number 21 on the completion. Brady LaBeouf in front. Look at now the 23. This is the man in 7th. Joey Stiers inside. The Daytona winner, Brian Chu. All of this is happening as they work their way back into the corner into 1 and 2. Great racing happening as you're looking at some of the different camera angles of the trucks thundering around Bristol. And look at this now continuing between now Stiers and Chu. Lighting, Reeves is in this mix as well. All this happens with LaBeouf leading down the backstretch.
Yeah, LaBeouf and Barnett pulling a little bit away there from Hunter Parsons in third. Maybe he's just letting those drivers go, burning their stuff. First battle for position, that's Stiers and Morales. Stiers looking down to the inside of Morales, but it pretty much has been single file right now for the top 8. Adam Lighty and the redneck announcer Jacob Reeves, 9th, 10th, and then Adam Newton sitting there in 11th trying to crack his way into the top 10. He's also got Stephen Thomas there trying to get his way inside the top 10. This driver trying to move their way forward. Meanwhile, other drivers who have moved their way forward, that's Kerry Tribute. He's +9, +8 now. He's in 15th. We saw him just barely avoid Adam Newbert spinning right in front of him. So that number 7 machine, he's working his way forward after starting back in the 20s.
Yeah, watching all this going on down the back straightaway yet one more time into the corner. That's Steve Barnett. You're on board with him now. Now you're on board with Brady LaBeouf as Barnett moves to the number 2 spot. He is trying to do all he can to get himself out of the cutoff line of 20th to try to advance his way into the top 20 to make it into the playoffs. And we got a caution on the racetrack. Trouble for the second time. Another Serve Pro caution coming out, and it looks like it might be Huck Wigginton, the 00, I think is what we're thinking it is. Huck Wigginton and Chris Blanchard will take a look at it here. Dan Hagan also in the 39. He might have got a piece of it.
Tommy Proctor there behind Wigginton, but yeah. No, Wigginton hits the apron and just loses it around there on the front straightaway.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. Huck Wigginton, Star Base 00 Chevrolet from Bellevue, Tennessee, going around. And again, no damage on that 00 by anybody else, and this should be a quick yellow, honestly.
Yeah, one would hope. It's interesting how iRacing's automated system sometimes calls cautions, and yeah, he was slow and relatively sideways in front of the field, and the leaders were coming, so I guess rather safe than sorry they catch him at a bad time. But it definitely should not have. We wish it hadn't have flipped through everything here. Is maybe we had an incident under yellow here real quick. It looks like maybe some drivers getting into each other. Right now, producer was wondering if we had an issue, but yeah, Wesley, second caution here, Surf Pro caution, lap number 30. Hopefully it's a short one.
Yeah, another caution coming out here as we Don't see likely anybody except in the back of the top 30 coming down to the pit lane for service drivers that were involved in accidents. So Brady LaBeouf in the lead. Steve Barnett is in second. Hunter Parsons is third. Robert Richards in fourth. Cole Henriksen, your top five. Let's look at the point standings. And as I mentioned, Tyler, how important it is for Steve Barnett to get out of the cutoff of 20th.
It's huge, and honestly, even if he just holds on and finishes second here in stage one, doesn't necessarily have to win the stage, but given already the amount of attrition we're seeing early on in this race, a lot of drivers already involved in incidents, top 30 obviously still clean. He could find himself, even if he gets wrecked out after stage one, as long as he has a good finish to this first stage, he could find himself in a good points position the rest of the way. And we go to two big tracks here, so but right, just to remind all of y'all, we go to lap 75, end of lap 75, so we're almost halfway here in stage number one, Wesley. Interesting to see how some of these drivers are working their way forward. Blake Lothian, he's plus 12 right now. He's in the 23rd position. Chris Cinnamon's plus 10. He's in the 14th position. Those are your two biggest movers. On the opposite side of the scale, Nate Maurer, he's starting the 10th position. He's dropped all the way to 22nd. He's minus 12. Chris Blanchard started 18th. He's minus 11 and 29th. But Justin White started in 8th. Had an issue early on. He's all the way back in 36th and no longer on the racetrack.
And we'll keep an eye on that again, as pretty lengthy yellow flag here going on with Steve Barnett up in front. 32 of 75 laps, by the way, in stage number one. This is a pretty lengthy stage, as we're about only way mid through. Still a lot of racing left to go. And honestly, Tyler, as we mentioned, you got to be patient. Don't be aggressive. Don't do anything to take yourself out here in the early going, no doubt.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is patience is so important when it comes to tracks like Bristol. And even, you know, the two types of tracks where I think you need to have the most patience, especially early in the race, are the super speedways and the short tracks, right? The longest track that we go to and the shortest tracks we go to. So we'll see if that reigns true here the rest of the way as we're about to get back going in stage number one.
Ready for the pace truck to come onto the pit lane. Here comes the virtual thundering herd back to the line. Green flag back out here at Bristol. Outside lane will work for Brady LaBeouf. He's got now Richards to deal with to the inside. Back to the bottom of the racetrack comes now Barnett. Behind him, it is a big stack up of traffic. Parsons, Morales, Henriksen, Reeves, they're all in that battle as they work into one.
What a move by Brady LaBeouf there, starting on the outside right in front of his teammate, getting a good jump, kind of working well together. Mission 1 takes 1-2. Highline Racing sits 3rd through 6, but you got Jacob Reeves and Joey Stiers there in the 7th, 8th, and then Adam Newton there in the 9th position. That's Swim and Mission 1 trying to move forward as well. Reeves trying to get up there with his teammates. Meanwhile, Swim's just trying to crack themselves inside the top 5. But man, a big check up there on the outside lane. Yeah, Adam Newton and Jacob Reeves don't like each other as much, but really the bigger rivalry is trying to find out where Taylor Peacock is, if he's coming forward to come get into Jacob Reeves. We'll see how that battle plays out later in this race. But Stiers making some ground on the bottom. Stiers making ground.
As you mentioned, watching Stiers start to get something going here. All this going on as they work their way back across the line, put another lap on the board, as Brady LaBeouf, he is still the man at the Pied Piper here at Bristol, if you will, for Nazareth tonight.
Robert Richards,
I was going to say Robert Richards and Steve Barnett battling there for second, and that was pretty heated as even Stiers and Henriksen are going at it.
I was going to say, Wesley, you said the Pied Piper, and the way that they're driving right now makes me feel like it's an old Daytona race, watching Dale Jr. just rip the high line, and everyone just gets single file behind him.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you see a guy jump out of line like Stiers is right now, but man, really looks like a super speedway race almost in a way with how they're running.
Certainly does, no doubt, here at Bristol half mile. The banking at Bristol Motor Speedway, they're on the concrete, by the way. This is not pavement, they're racing on concrete at the half mile. That is the last great Coliseum. It is overcast conditions, 75 degrees for track temp, just around 76, and the air temp, virtual sim time is 76 degrees. Track temp is just around 83 degrees as Jason Morales right there in a gaggle of traffic, and Jacob Reeves is on the inside, clear a path.
Yeah, Jacob Reeves seeing what Joey Stiers is able to do. Stiers moved up to the 4th spot. He's trying to move forward even more. Stiers led over 100 laps here last season at Bristol in the DSR Electric Truck Series. He knows how to run this race, and he's seeing that there's a lot of checking up causing the outside lane, because maybe even though Brady LaBeouf may be running well, maybe the 2nd and 3rd place driver Maybe Barnett's a little bit faster than Richards, but can't get around him because of the way that they're stuck right now. So Stires is taking advantage of all those checkups on the outside. He's going to try and get up there for third. He should be able to clear Barnett here off of 4 if he wants to. Doesn't decide to move up, though.
Good hard racing. Oh,
trouble
as the 15 gets into Barnett. Barnett tags Hendrickson. Hendrickson's got Doucette on the binders. Everyone else stacking up behind them. It happened with Hunter Parsons. Hunter Parsons and Steve Barnett tangle battling for the third spot, fourth spot, and caution is out, and they are still wrecking like they're in the funny papers. There goes Blake Lothian. There goes Kerry Tribune rolling away. Fred Lester caught up in it at the secondary yellow flag. Third of the evening, presented by Surf Pro.
And that's exactly what Steve Barnett didn't want to happen. And you know who caused it for him? His teammate. His teammate just turned him. And this is like one of the #1 rules in short track race. Hunter Parsons in the 15 spins
15
Steve Barnett.
27. Yeah, that's a heartbreak for Steve Barnett. We were talking about being 20th in the playoffs cutoff line with the final 3 races of the regular season here tonight. Bristol, Indy, Daytona. And look at this.
Rewind it a little bit. You'll see. No, rewind it. You'll see Hunter caused it. They're already wrecking by this time. So if you go backwards a little bit, you'll see right there. Here we go.
There.
They're going to come through the straightaway here.
Set him up on the back stretch there, Tyler. Set it up for us, buddy.
Yeah, we're going to have to look forward here if we can. Cameraman, look forward ahead instead of behind, because this is a great view. You're going to see exactly. And it looks like, Barnett kind of checks up because he wasn't sure about Stires, and Parsons his teammate, right? These are all Highline Racing drivers from 4th. We're going to go full speed. Barnett makes a mistake, and Parsons just gets into the back of him. I don't think Barnett would have spun out.
I don't say it's Parsons' fault, though. I really don't. I see Barnett getting up. He got loose. When he got loose, Parsons has nowhere to go, and he gets into the left rear. But that was all Barnett when he got loose in the middle of the corner on the exit. That's all on the 27.
Yes and no. In my opinion, I agree. Parsons probably didn't have enough chance to slow down in time, but I don't think Barnett wrecks by himself because it looked like he had it gathered back up before the 15 hits him because he got loose, but he got it straightened out pretty quickly. But it's a lap later, and these are Jason Morales, Hunter Parsons right there. They come back around, and it's still stacked up. And this is the problem with, not the problem with, but this is the dangers of Bristol, right? The wrecks can last a whole lap. Which is terrifying, but it's unfortunate. Steve Barnett's probably gonna be very upset that his own teammate. He's gonna be upset at himself, right? You see Meza getting on the brakes in the middle of the corner, slammed on it, and bang, hard into the outside wall. Tim Hammond involved, a bunch of other drivers involved. It's unfortunate, but really unfortunate for Steve Barnett, right? He had significant damage. It's a sad situation for everyone. Maybe if we could ride on board with Blake Lothian or Kerry Tribune, the 43, who's in 28th right now.
This is an extended caution. This is even after what happened between Barnett and Parsons. All this happening.
Yeah, there's Parsons. He's already spun. Yeah, and this is going to involve 2 more Highline Racing drivers. That's Cole Henrikson's going to get involved. That's Jason Morales involved. So really, for Highline Racing, and Kerry Tribune we saw got spun as well. Hunter Parsons is the only one to survive the rest. It's kind of like, William Byron at Daytona, right? The guy who spins the guy generally is okay, but unfortunately it hurt all the other Highline Racing entries, and that's going to hurt them in the team points even further.
Gotta wonder if Jacob Reeves has any damage on his machine. Obviously, he stays right there inside row number 4 for the restart after the choose rule.
Yeah, Morales is up there too as well.
Yes, sir. Parsons going to stay right there in that number 2 position as we'll get ready to go back to green here. Correction, 3rd. Brady LaBeouf, Robert Richards, front row. Brady LaBeouf, good jump on the pack on the inside lane. He's on the outside, and Brady LaBeouf is going to get on the top banks here at Bristol into 1 and 2.
Yeah, we're going to see Robbie Richards get up there in front of 15, but I'm excited to see what Joey Stires does. Almost gets into the left rear of Robbie Richards there off of there through 3 and 4. That 23 machine seemed hooked up on the bottom, seemed to really like it was moving forward there right before that incident happened. We'll see how well it lasts here over these last 23, 24 laps, Wesley.
Hunter Parsons up high, got some pressure from Morellas now. Here comes Stiers down to the inside. He'll make that Toyota battle, the Toyota Parsons. All this goes on to the back straightaway. Under 25 laps to go here in stage 1 here at Bristol in the Glass Mechanic 250. You're on board now with Jason Morellas. He looks on the outside now behind Parsons. Everyone else to the inside. No one can get LaBeouf as he works the 3.
Yeah, Jason Morales looking at his teammate there ahead of him, and what used to be 4 drivers for Highline Racing inside the top 7 now is just 2 inside, the top 15. So that race has kind of flipped on its head for Highline Racing. But now you see Swim Racing or Swim Motorsports up there in that 3rd position. That's Joey Stiers. He's moved forward. So Mission 1 holds the top 2. Then it's Swim. Then it's Highline Racing rounding out your top 5 for now. But the Joker, Joey Doucette, making some work on the outside of Jacob Reeves.
Yeah, he's up now to 7th, getting around Jacob Reeves. You've got Chris Cinnamon, our friend of the North from Canada, looking on. So is also Stephen Thomas as this goes on across the line. Look at now the battle heating up here for 2nd spot. This is Joey Stiers. He's going after Robert Richards. Richards up high in the Copsey entry, down to the outside lane, inside, and they're battling door to door at the stripe. It's a photo finish like Atlanta last night as they go into turn 1.
Yeah, and this is Stiers just being more comfortable, being able to run the bottom right. Richards is going to have that momentum on the outside, but Stiers is able to make that inside lane work, prevent him from maybe making that mistake that puts him in the wall. So long term, Stiers may have the advantage here because he's minimizing the risk of him hitting that fence. Meanwhile, those drivers on the outside, Wesley, it's a higher chance that they end up making a mistake and causing a lot of damage to these trucks.
Back into the corner, Joey Stiers inside. Richards on the top. Parsons up there as well. All this happening as they work their way back into the corner. Parsons, whoa, Stiers got a little wiggle there for a minute on the exit out of 4. This opens the door for him to possibly try to make a run. He does. Richards back to 2nd. Parsons falling back maybe more. If Morellas and company can run him down, Adam Newton is there on the inside.
Yeah, Stiers needs to take a little bit here off for the next lap or 2. He's overheated that right front, overheated that right rear with that slide. But the advantage of him being on the bottom when he was sliding is he wasn't going to hit the fence. If you're up top, like we saw with Steve Barnett, where there's traffic cautions out, but Steve Barnett slid on the outside lane, and that caused a big wreck. Stiers, he's the only guy on the bottom.
And we've got another caution.
He's not going to get hit.
Big stack up in front of him, 33 Hornaday and others involved. And the caution will come out here for another time, presented by Serve Pro. Oh my, Jeffrey Johnson, Travis Twitty. There's a look at it right here on the replay. Travis Twitty from Polk County, North Carolina, going around.
Hits his own teammate, that 35 machine of Adam Lighty. So those 2 drivers getting into each other. I did think it was funny, Wesley, when you said 33. Ron Hornaday brought back some good memories and some good thoughts there of the old truck series. But wow, I was like, 33. We don't have Ron Hornaday.
Did I say Ron Hornaday? I thought I said Jeffrey
Yeah, you
Johnson.
did.
My apologies.
You said Ron
Jeffrey
Hornaday
Johnson.
the first time. No, it was fine. You corrected it the second time you said it, but I was like, man, Ron Hornaday, I feel old now, Wesley. I was like,
one of
I
the
got
greats
that
of the
reference.
NASCAR truck series. Yeah, man. And one of my buddies, Landon River Lewis, driving for Hornaday race cars. And obviously always great being able to see Ron Hornaday at the track when I can. Here's a look at it one more time on the replay. Dan Hagan, he might have got a piece of it as you see everyone else on the bind. Secondary yellow. There's the 33, Jeffrey Johnson.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it looks like he got tagged by Lighty coming into it late because Twitty was still kind of spinning that 32 machine. It looked like Lighty may have gotten into Johnson late there while he was correcting himself as well. But we're seeing pit stops. Maybe some drivers trying to flip the stages here, Wesley.
Yeah, I'm starting to see some of these guys in the back of the top 15 coming onto the pit lane, obviously. Cole Henriksen, Nate Maurer, Brian Chu, Taylor Peacock, by the way. Fred Lester, all making pit stops. Meanwhile, Brady LaBeouf. Yeah. Meanwhile, Brady LaBeouf, Tyler, still continuing to be the leader, if you will, here after our 4th caution of the race.
Yeah, and the best place to be in Bristol is up front, right? Until you catch up to lap traffic. But Luckily, these guys haven't actually had to race through lap traffic yet due to the way the cautions have all played out here. Is we'll have a fairly short run to the end of stage number 1 here, Wesley, but I kind of like the strategy. If you're outside the top 15, pit now, flip the stage, get that track position that Brady's been able to take advantage of. Because if you know you're not going to make it from 20th to the top 10 here in whatever 7, 6, 8 laps, whatever we are when we go back green. So good strategy.
Looks like we're under the yellow flag. We'll step away. More coverage from Bristol when we come back on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. Back here at Bristol, the lights are off on the pace truck, and we are getting ready for the restart in what will be probably less than 7 laps remaining in stage number 1 of the Glass Mechanics 250. Pace truck comes onto the pit lane. Here comes the field back to the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway in another great restart for Brady LaBeouf. He's on it. What a great driver in that 24. The defending series champion pulls away from Richards and company, and they work into 3.
Yeah, it's a great run for Brady LaBeouf. You know, he's always been a solid short track driver, but he would not be one to tell you that this is one of his strong suits. He loves all the short track racing, but he's not, in his words, would not call himself one of the best ones out there. But right now he's running it perfectly. To see that incident by Stires, that little slip up has pushed him back further in the field. He's having to race around his teammate Adam Newton and trying to get by Hunter Parsons and Morales, who's now moved up into the 3rd spot.
And right now, Brady LaBeouf holding on to that top spot. Robert Richards, Jason Morales, Hunter Parsons, Adam Newton. There's your top 5. That's the way they go, single file back off into the corner again, and we're under another caution flag. Yellow flag is out again for the 5th time in stage number 1. Cautions breed cautions, and we'll find out what happened here.
Yeah, and this will probably take us to the end of the stage here, so Brady LaBeouf should be your stage 1 winner, but I'm not really sure what happened on this incident. I didn't see anything. It looks like maybe Blanchard and Henriksen. Nope, here we go.
Arnett and Lester. Jeffrey Johnson in the 33, Columbus, Indiana driver. We'll see what happens to him.
Yep. Around he goes. Yep, nope, that looks good.
Around goes the 33.
Here, this should be the end of the first stage. I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone pit yet. Maybe this, yep, it looks like pit road will open this time. Yep, there's the leaders all pitting. So, yeah, should be able, great time to take a quick little break and get back to you all with the action when we return live from Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be back here post pit stops to give you a full field rundown. And we're back live from Bristol for the Glass Mechanic 250/275 here. Real quick, you just saw the ad for Premier Racing Setups. Use code NASRA, that's NASRA, for 15% off your order, as well as a 15% kickback to NASRA when you order a setup through them. But right now, standing by with your stage 1 winner, that's Wesley Outland with Brady LaBeouf.
Brady LaBeouf in the booth. What a job, man. Stage 1, Bristol, 5 or so cautions. Your take of this race so far. I said you're the Pied Piper of this race. Doing good.
Yeah, no, so far it's going great, except, you know, we chose to come down pit road, take tires, and You know, I know there's a couple of guys that stayed out. Some strategy being played right here, so it's going to put us a little bit, you know, further in the pack than what we want to be. But we'll just have to get up there, and but clean air is key here. So we're going to just try to do our best, Wesley, and get back up to the front.
Brady, you mentioned here that a couple of drivers trying to flip the stage. 3 drivers have yet to pit tonight. Adam Newton, Joey Stires, Joey just said. The rest of the drivers in front of you have pitted various laps between the lap 64 caution, lap 45 caution. What are you going to do to try and get your way from 14th back up to first? Are you going to try and pick them away quickly here on these restarts, or are you going to try and be a little bit more slow and methodical?
Well, it's kind of a hit and miss, kind of damn if you do, damn if you don't. I definitely want to gain track position as I'm currently sitting here in 14th, so definitely want to get back up there, but at the same time, don't want to burn the tires off because we still got a little ways to go before the end of the next stage.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll see how it all shakes out for you. Good luck. Good luck in stage number 2.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
And we'll get ready to let him get back into place as the field will get ready to come back to the starting box. Green flag goes back in the air. We are back to it again.
New leader here, Adam Newton, swim now 1-2. That's Stephen Gregory, an unaffiliated team charter member there. He's up 26 positions. He's sitting in the 3rd position. But like we mentioned, the first 2 drivers, actually Stephen Gregory pitted on lap 47, but 1st, 2nd, and 4th have yet to pit. That's Adam Newton, Joey Stires, and Joey Doucette, the Joker, as Adam Lighty currently rounding out your top 5 here. As you saw a little bit of those pitch strategies, and last time drivers were on pit road there, courtesy of our producer here. But Wesley, you know, it's going to be interesting seeing how much of a difference in lap times we'll see out of these drivers based off of the deferring pit strategy.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on it now as they work their way across the line, put another lap on the board. Down to the inside, there's Brian Chu trying to make works there on the lighting machine, my apologies. And here we go, working lap number 80 when they come thundering by the start-finish line. Still a lot of way to go here in stage number 2. By the way, Glass Mechanic 275, and it is the Glass Mechanic stage 2, and we got a caution. You saw where it kind of started there, Tyler, and now it ends up with the yellow flag flying.
Yeah, Adam Lighty was the first driver to hit the fence, but it looks like Chris Blanchard's the driver who fully brings out the yellow by spinning, as we're going to see it here, and this is going to be caused by this big checkup ahead because of Lighty getting into the fence off of 2, and they're going to check up, and maybe he just kind of lost it there on his own. But it looked like, you know, that stack up we saw was courtesy of Lighty getting into the fence. We saw a little bit of, he started dropping down the running order. He went all the way from 5th. He's currently running in really 4th or 5th. Adam Lighty in the 35. He hounded the fence there off of 2, Wesley, as we were watching.
Another yellow flag. Here's another look at it. You saw Adam Lighty. That was the one that kind of got bonsai'd there. And then nowhere to go for him. And then obviously the end result was a caution coming out. There it is.
Yeah, Lighty's going to get that damage repaired here, Wesley. And we're going to see, yeah, Bray LaBeouf already, you know, went from 14th to 11. He'll be up to the 10th spot once Lighty pits here and drops down the rest of the order. Cole Henriksen's also coming down pit road, even though he just last came down pit road on lap number 64, I believe. So pretty quick turnaround here for the one-on-one machine of Henriksen, probably trying to get more damage fixed from that earlier big wreck he was involved in. As you see, Bray LaBeouf now inside the 10th position. But biggest mover so far, Taylor Peacock flipped that stage, Wesley. He's now inside the top 10, a driver who's won at Bristol before across Nazareth. Very, very strong, very, very comfortable driver.
Another yellow flag. I believe it's the sixth caution of this race now, as we are approaching lap number 83 of the race. Lap 84 when they come to the line completed, as they'll take another lap or 2 before we get ready to go back for restart. Adam Newton, now the new leader, by the way, the DSR Electric number 19. Joey Steyer's in second. Stephen Gregory up the third. Joey Doucette fourth. Brian Chu, the top 5. Kerry Tribune, who had some problems in the first stage, has moved 17 spots to 6th, up 27 spots. Is Taylor Peacock. Remember, Tyler, you talk about him, don't count him out. Taylor Peacock, what a climb through the field. He's in the top 10.
Yeah, as is Blake Lothian sitting there in 9th, and Brady LaBeouf in 10th is working his way back up. But Brady told me before this race he had to come run well tonight as well, because even though he made those comments about Hunter Parsons being overrated, he also said Taylor Peacock was overrated. Now, I disagreed with overrated. I said he was overperforming with his 3 wins on the season, but I did not say he was overrated. But Taylor Peacock, this is a track where I think he should run well at, and he has a legitimate shot at winning. So maybe he can be the first driver to 4 wins on the season. You're still the only driver with multiple wins this season in the DSR Electric Truck Series, sitting back there in the 7th, 8th position right now.
Tyler, do you sense, though, the frustration from Hunter Parsons while he's kind of like calling you and Brady out? Do you?
I understand it. Yeah, I totally understand it. And, he feels gypped, right? Because he is the points leader. He's like, how am I overrated if I'm the points leader? But
Right.
in my opinion, the points battle this year is weaker than it has. This season has been weaker than it has been in the past. If you look at the last 2 regular season points leaders, have all been over 500 points after 11 weeks. It took Hunter 12 weeks, I think, to get to 500. We have to show up the points. I don't even know if he's still over. I don't even know if he reached 500 yet. But now we have this battle between Steyers and Newton raging on these swim drivers. Their teammates, give each other plenty of space right now. Very, very respectable. But these are 2 drivers who dominated here at Bristol last time we were here. They have over 100+ laps led the last time they raced here at Bristol. So these are 2 drivers I also expected to be up front. Oh,
and another yellow flag. I want to say Jason Bridges might got involved in it this time. Kevin Battering, the 94. And we'll find out what has caused another yellow flag. Is it Brian Chu, the Daytona winner? Possibly. Let's see it.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Broadside off of LaBeouf's truck. Man, what a hit.
Yeah. It looked like he had slowed down a decent bit before he made that contact, but still going to be some damage to that 51. I don't really know if Brady came down or if they both just kind of met in the middle, kind of similar to that Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch incident we saw at Atlanta yesterday, where they kind of just both come together. We'll have to back it up a little. It looked like Brady may have got a little loose off of, what would that be, 2? But it looks still like Chu comes up a little bit there off of 2 as well, Wesley. This might have been a meet in the middle and call it a day kind of incident.
Yeah.
Oh, are you going to put me on the hot seat here now, Wesley?
On the hot seat, you're exactly right. On the hood of the truck is Brady LaBeouf, Stage 1 winner, and my colleague in the booth, Tyler Dittmer. Hunter Parsons, what's the story behind that?
Oh, just overheard some podcast talk being called overrated there, so had to show him up for being the point leader. I didn't know you could be overrated.
State your case. Why do you feel like you're not overrated?
I haven't had some good finishes, different pit strategies failing for us or just getting wrecked out, having a good strategy, but haven't had a win, but definitely still had, the good runs to be considered the point leader right now, heading into the regular season finale.
I was say we're having this conversation with you, Hunter, because there's been so many cautions. We're trying to fill a little bit of airspace. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh,
and,
I figured.
One also, you did not listen to the show. Your teammate Steve Barnett told you about it, and maybe afterwards you went back and listened to the show.
So maybe
you should listen to the show for the full comments on it, because I agree. You're the points leader wholeheartedly, and you deserve that. But I will say you haven't had the best competition pushing you so far. We haven't seen consistency out of really a ton of drivers this year who we expected to perform better. And I would argue, I'm pretty sure you had more points last season through this number of races than you do this season, which is another interesting tidbit. So I'll have to go back and see. I'm not saying you're having a bad year per se. I'm just saying that you had a better season last season and weren't leading the points.
Oh, definitely have. I mean, I didn't get my first pole until tonight. And I think last season at this point I had like 6. So it's definitely not been the best season so far, but we're hanging in there.
Yeah, so if
Well,
what
because
we see on the
everybody
screen
that's
is
got locks or
playoff.
drivers that are locked in the
Yeah.
playoffs automatically. Hunter Parsons doesn't have a win yet, but he is still leading by virtue of the points. So if the points were to end, he would make it into the playoffs. And Hunter, are you looking at a possibility of having to do it that way, or do you want to get a win for the season's out?
I'd like to get a win, but right now points are important to me. But if you don't mind, I'm ready to go back racing green here.
Yeah, go back to it again. Highline Racing. There you go. There is Hunter Parsons. And I had a feeling he was about to cut our conversation short, Tyler.
No worry. But hey, I got him to agree on something. One, he ran a better season last season and wasn't leading the points. So this is kind of what I was getting at with Braves. We're back under
So
green.
there is some kind of common ground in this rivalry here, right?
My thing is, I love Hunter Parsons. Like, I think he is great for NASRA. He has that kind of, bad guy villain mentality. Kind of takes everything,
He's our Denny Hamlin.
Sometimes that face. Or Denny Hamlin win more races. Yeah. Maybe like current RCR Kyle Busch.
There you go. There you go. Yes.
But he's like a combo of RCR Kyle Busch with results, but Kyle Busch personality with Joe Gibbs.
Right.
In my opinion, I think that's what Hunter Parsons is, and I think it's great for it because it gets people to watch. People care about these storylines. People listen. His teammates listen for this stuff. Here's where Hunter caution again.
Another caution coming out.
Yeah,
the thing is, we're at a short track, so you'll find it pretty quickly. I think it's Timothy Hammond that might have got caught up in it.
But I think these discussions are great for the league. It builds, it builds true characters. It builds personalities. There's Hammond looping around. Is Meza going to get him? Yeah. Ooh, this is really what Bristol is, right, Wesley? A guy spins in front of the field and like three other guys kind of just crane into it. But everyone else doing a great job avoiding it. But that's true Bristol incident right there.
That's Bristol at its finest, what just took place right there again, as Timothy Hammond having a problem to put us under the yellow flag yet again. All right, so nobody besides, Adam Newton, Joey Stiers, and Joey Doucette, none of them have pitted yet. So kind of wonder when they're going to come down to the pit lane.
Well, they're saving tires by not pitting still.
Yeah.
And they're up first, second, and fourth, so.
Kerry Tribune, what a comeback from having problems at the start to Tyler. He's up to third in the seventh.
Yeah, I think he's been around like 3 different times tonight. Wesley, we see Steve Burnett getting one of his multiple laps back. But what a performance by Kerry to stick with it. And he ran well here last season as well. I think he finished inside the top 10. A solid performance. Steve Burnett should only be about 3 laps down now. At this rate, he'll get all of his laps back if he's still the only guy, laps down running, which it looks like he is at least the leader of all the laps down running drivers, as Cole Henriksen is in for more damage repairs, it looks like, from his earlier incidents. Brian Chu also in as well. So yeah, it's just short track racing, right, Wesley?
Just another yellow flag here at Bristol. 8th caution. Still a long way to go. Stage 2, by the way, presented by Glass Mechanic. And this is the Glass Mechanic 275. We'll take a break. More from Bristol, baby, when we come back.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Here's a look at the race details. Obviously, we are in stage number 2, presented by Glass Mechanic and the Glass Mechanic 275. And right now, we are just past 100 laps, over 100 laps into this one here. So lap 150, so 48 laps to go. When they come back to the Geico restart zone, we'll get a restart. And 275 is the magic number. And again, though, that could change. We got 3 attempts at overtime, Tom. Yeah.
We should We should have kept it at 250. No, I'm just kidding, Wesley. But hey,
I
front
thought it
row,
was
interesting.
250. I don't
I
know.
thought it was
Change.
too. I don't know. But front row right now were the race picks from Brady and myself. Brady took Adam Newton. I took Joey Styres for the hot lap. So for those of you who keep track of those race picks, interesting battle up front here between the swim teammates, which are back under the green flag in stage number 2.
Back to green here at Bristol with Adam Newton in the lead, followed by Joey Styres in second. Kerry Tribune is third. Joey Doucette, all these guys holding their line as they work their way back around the racetrack.
Yeah, Brady LaBeouf now inside the top 5 for the first time since he was shuffled back to 14th. Slowly working his way up there, Wesley, on all these restarts. He's back inside the top 5. That's exactly what Brady LaBeouf wanted, trying to get that track position back. He lost after pitting. He's on significantly fresher tires than every driver ahead of him, especially those 2 trucks leading this race.
All this going on with a battle now between Brady LaBeouf, Joey Doucette side by side. This is for 4th and 5th. LaBeouf inside. LaBeouf, Doucette holding their line, working around the racetrack. Another lap on the board. There's Peacock now. Keep an eye on that 81, man. That's the man that's got the most wins of anybody this year. Taylor Peacock in the 81, and he is being consistent right now in the number 6 position. He's right there within the battle for those leaders.
Yeah, he's a driver who loves Bristol here, and this is a battle between 2 drivers. Really not a lot of love lost. Interesting separation between Doucette and LaBeouf when Doucette left Mission 1 Esports due to maybe some issues between each other, differences of opinion there. As you see, Adam Newton now, Joey Styres has closed the gap here with the leads. Kerry Tribune's also joined the party, and it looks like Doucette and LaBeouf are trying to join the party as well, making a 5-truck battle here for the lead. But Tribune looking to the outside here of that 23 machine as they work their way through the corner.
Fun time happening right now. Another lap on the board here at Bristol. Working down lap 110 when they come to the line this time by Tyler.
A 64 lap tire advantage here for Kerry Tribune against these front 2 drivers. He's just got by Joey Styres. He's going to set his sights on Adam Newton, Wesley. And this is showing the importance of tires here at this track.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right now, 3 drivers have not pitted so far. Adam Newton, Joey Styres, and Joey Doucette. And it is starting to show now why the used tires being used up is starting to affect them. As you see the 7 running down the leader. There you see Styres right there. He's not pitted, neither did Joey Doucette. They're trying to take advantage of track position versus making pit stops, and hopefully they're trying to get to the end of this stage.
Yeah, and they would have preferred if we kept a bunch of short restarts, but if this stage goes green all the way to lap 150, those 3 drivers are going to struggle. So you see Brady LaBeouf should complete the pass here on Joey Doucette. He will, so move Brady LaBeouf into the 4th position. And if this goes green for the next 37 laps, those 3 drivers are going to have a tough time because those tires are wearing down. But it's better for Adam Newton because he's up front. He won't fall as far as Joey Doucette or Joey Styres might. Doucette especially, he has a hungry Taylor Peacock, Hunter Parsons, Stephen Gregory behind him. So he has to worry about those positions. But this battle for 6th is heating up as Peacock has a trunk full of Hunter Parsons to his inside.
Battler, I got to think about this. Guys like Adam Newton, Joey Styres, of course, Joey Doucette. Can they run out of fuel before we get to lap 150 in stage 2?
So that's a great question, right? I talked pre-race with a couple of drivers, and they said, a full tank of fuel, green flag conditions the entire way is about 115, 116 laps. Obviously, we've spent a lot of time under caution so far, Wesley. So we know that they're going to clear that number, but how far beyond that number can they clear? We don't really know. How active were they saving, right? Were they saving a lot? If we go green all the way to 150, I don't know if those guys can make it all the way to lap 150 as Parsons now has taken over the 6th position.
And then you think about it, those 3 drivers of Adam Newton, Joey Styres, and Joey Doucette, if they can't and they have to pit under green, make no mistake about it, they're going to go multiple laps down because when you pit in green flag conditions at Bristol, you're going to go laps down.
Yeah, it's a death sentence, and it's not guaranteed that best one of those threes will get their lap back, because Steve Barnett has pitted and he's already multiple laps down. So they may be on the same lap as Barnett, but Barnett will already have that momentum going around this track that they may actually lose a lap to Barnett in this process. And then Barnett's the only driver able to get a lucky dog the rest of the way. So interesting to see how that all plays out as Gregory's to the inside of Peacock.
All this going on as we're approaching now 30 laps remaining in stage number 1, or stage 2, my apologies. Look at this little 3 wide, Cinnamon Monkey in the middle. Richards is right there to help him out, give him an assist. Reeves up against the safer barrier. Gregory is there, and they somehow keep that from getting out of control. What a save.
Yeah, what a save by Cinnamon and all those drivers around him, not piling into it and creating that wreck, right? This is an important battle, right? This is the end cautions out as soon as we say that these guys did such. Oh, whoa, after the wreck.
Still not done wrecking as Nate Bauer goes around from contact.
Yeah, that's interesting. After the caution had already come out, Maurer gets tapped. Yeah.
Is that Morales? Jason Morales in the 1? Yeah.
Morales in that glass mechanic number 1. He was trying to avoid it, but it looks like Richards just kind of doesn't let up fast enough, because the caution's already out here. We saw the caution lights on our screen. You can't see it because they're on the back side, but you did see a little bit there. And Richards just tags him, and Morales kind of gets into the back of Richards as well, and those 2 drivers around.
But this is a secondary caution. This isn't the cause of the caution, though.
No, it's not.
This is after the yellow came out, so we got to find what the caution was for.
Yeah, I have Adam Lighty. Maybe he's now a lap down. The 35 machine's off track, but it probably would have been him before. He's probably also removed himself from the session, it looks like, as well.
Adam Lighty, Fred Lester, maybe?
He's in the 29th position. He's no longer running. Yeah, it might have been Lester then if he entered pit road, getting some damage as well.
Let's see. Yep, there it is, right there.
There it is.
Yep, that's the cause of the caution. And then what you saw a few moments ago between Morales and company, that was a secondary yellow, but just that little sideways caused the caution to be called there. Missed out for the water barrel there, the sand pit as we used to call it.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation for everyone involved. And now, this was a good thing for Newton and Stiers and Doucette, but they're not pitting. They haven't come down pit road yet, so they must think they can make it all the way to the end of lap 150. They must have been saving rather aggressively.
Thanks, everybody, joining us in the chat box on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Thank you so much. If you're tuned in, hit that subscribe and follow button on social media to keep up with all the great coverage. Obviously, what we got tomorrow night, we got the NASRA Xfinity Xfinity Series. We've got Goat Locker Racing on trucks and Cup, I believe it is, or ARCA, trucks and ARCA on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, the Cup Series. Saturday, coming soon, the NASRA MX5 Cup. That's going to be really cool, Tyler.
Yeah, and I'll be running in that with Warrior Racing Esports. Very excited to do that. Yeah, Michael Morales saying loving his old Irwindale Speedway colors. Thank you, Mike, for reminding me what the name of the track was. I was blanking on it for a while. And that number 1 machine does look sharp, and a tribute scheme to his father there, Mike Morales, who's watching the race. Jason running that truck tonight. Unfortunately, He's not had the best night so far in that number 1 machine, but still a pretty solid night as that Glass Mechanic sponsorship on the side of that machine.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, and he mentions Irwindale Speedway. I've actually announced at Irwindale Speedway before for NASCAR. A decade ago, I think it was, when I done the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown. True story. Forgot to set my clock 3 hours back, and I thought I was 3 hours ahead. Woke up, took a nap at the hotel after the long flight, Tyler, and long story short, got in my rental car, thought I was running late, and I was actually ahead of everybody else. And needless to say, I got pulled over by the California Highway Patrol for speeding down the highway. It wasn't a good thing, but luckily I got out of it. So luckily, being an East Coast guy on the West Coast, he took pity on me. So all right, let's go back to green, shall we? 1:30. 20 laps to go here in stage 2. The Glass Mechanic 275, and this is the Glass Mechanic stage 2 at Bristol.
Yeah, I see Brady LaBeouf there with his fresh tires, making moves on the outside, trying to take advantage of these restarts. He's going to try and get to the second position, get by. But that his future teammate, Kerry Tribute. Kerry Tribute just signed a deal with Mission 1 Esports and its affiliates for next season of the DSR Electric Truck Series, announced last week. So he'll be leaving Highline Racing at the end of season number 3 and moving over to Mission 1 Esports, or one of their affiliate teams, here shortly. But right now, Adam Newton has the lead up front. Wesley, is they're going to try and get single file, but Hunter Parsons is going to follow Brady LaBeouf through this mess on the high side.
Working their way with now 18 laps to go in stage number 2 here at Bristol, baby. Brady LaBeouf, stage 1 winner, climbing the ladder. He's up to second. He's setting his sights on Adam Newton. Can he get there? As right now, he's going to battle Kerry Tribute inside as they work off the corner.
Yeah, with Brady LaBeouf trying to chase down the man who hasn't pit yet. That's Adam Newton. Joey Doucette, Joey Stiers, they also haven't pit. They're battling for 5th and 6th. Meanwhile, Kerry Tribute, Hunter Parsons still currently teammates in Highline Racing, hold 3rd and 4th. Taylor Peacock still plus 27th. He sits in the 7th position, but he's a little bit off this main group of 6 as we're trying to see these drivers find space. But right now, Adam Newton has pulled out a half-second lead over Brady LaBeouf here, as we have 15 laps to go here in stage number 2.
Adam Newton, the leader. There you see him from the tailgate of the 19. Awesome camera work by Biggles Dean Hopton, our buddy out of Australia.
Caution.
And we got a caution. Spoke too soon. There it is, yellow flag coming out. We'll find out what happened to put us under yellow flag number, was it 11 now?
I don't even know.
I think it is.
We had such a good green flag run before the previous
10
caution.
Yeah.
We were doing so well. Oh, Huck Wigginton kind of looked like he checked up for something, and Raul Meza gets into the back of him. I don't know why he checked up. Oh, no, it's ahead of him. Yeah. Was that? Who's the truck ahead? I can't tell. I still can't tell who that is. They're spinning out in the bottom. Oh, that's the... Yeah. Oh, wow. 34 Jason Bridges also just spinning on the front straightaway as well, which isn't helping. Multiple different incidents.
On the 34. Yeah. Take your pick. There's a lot of accidents here at one time.
Yeah.
That's Travis Twitty in the 32. Bonsai's off of Wigginton, it looked like, and then held it.
There's a 3 wide action up ahead where you see Bridges get spun around.
Yeah. What if we
Very
get
strange.
Started? There's Wigginton. My apologies. Look at Huck Wigginton. Starbase 00 going around. So who was that fluorescent colored looking truck? That's the one that
yeah,
was
the 34 Bridges
Twitty.
got spun. Yeah, the truck that was alongside Twitty. But that was a strange incident. There were multiple incidents involved there, Wesley.
Look at this, though. We're seeing people pit. Except Tyler, Adam Newton, Joey Doucette, and Joey Stiers. They have not pitted yet. Everyone else has pitted at least once or twice.
They have to believe that they can make it the next 10 laps, which they very may well can with, 10 cautions now, able to save a lot of fuel. But it's interesting, we're seeing those drivers flip stages again, right? We saw it happen in the first stage. Newton, Stiers, and Doucette flipped the stage, got the track position. It should pay off for them. They're running 1st, 5th, and 6th. But now you're seeing drivers, like Reeves, Pappas, Lester. They all came down, or Reeves and Pappas and a couple other drivers came down pit road as well for service. So those drivers are flipping the stage right now. Nate Maurer is included in this group. Chris Blanchard, Travis Twitty. Looks like Brian Chu also came down pit road. So those drivers are going to flip the stage here. So they're going to have the track position when we go green here after stage 2 ends in about 10 laps, Wesley. So interesting to see how the strategies are continuing to evolve here as we're over halfway finally in the Class Mechanic 275.
iRacing trying to blueprint exactly what the real thing looks like at Bristol. And yes, even that massive video board called Colossus TV hanging above the virtual Last Great Coliseum. And we'll get ready for a restart. Adam Newton is the man that leads the way. Brady LaBeouf, the stage 1 winner, trying to get around the 19. We're ready to see what happens here on this restart. 10 caution flags, slowing things down here as we'll get ready to go back for green flag action. Trucks on the bottom of the apron on what they're doing. They're way not at the speed. And we're back to it again, and it's going to be an 8-lap shootout here to decide stage number 2 here at Bristol. And Adam Newton, I don't know what, man, that guy just pulled away from LaBeouf, dude. He called everybody asleep at the wheel. The 19, tires worn out, fuel about gone. Whatever he's doing, he's in the lead.
Yeah, he got the jump on everyone else. That allowed Hunter Parsons to get by Brady LaBeouf for second. Now Steyer's is going to try and take the battle with Brady LaBeouf for the 3rd position. Kerry Tribune's there as well, running your top 5. Wow. That's Chris Cinnamon rebounding from an earlier incident. He's in 6th now, so all these drivers continuing to cycle up and down the leaderboard. Wesley, as we see Adam Newton still hold about, call it a 0.2 of a second gap over Hunter Parsons.
What a comeback. What a comeback for the man right there in that number 23, Joey Steyers. And here comes another yellow flag out. I think this might wrap it up here in stage number 2. And we got problems on the racetrack. Adam Newton catching up to the calamity as it looks like Barnett and some others are involved in it. Keep an eye on the 42, Steve Barnett. This was not, or the 27, my apologies, Steve Barnett. This is not the type of race, Tyler, that Steve Barnett needed to have being at the bottom of the cutoff line.
Yeah, you know, he's running so well in stage 1, then gets turned around after making a little bit of a mistake. Hunter Parsons can't check up in time, spins him out, doesn't collect any stage points, and from there, his night has just gone pretty much from bad to worse. He's currently 29th, but ooh, Jacob Reeves, big checkup behind a couple other drivers. Looks like the incident already happened up ahead of these guys. So
yeah, man.
They're all pretty much stopped, so it's going to be further.
Like Bullock was down at the bottom of the racetrack. Brandon Bullock, so my apologies. Barnett really, Kevin Battering, there you see it.
Ooh, hits, is that Huck Wigginton?
That's Tommy, no, that's Huck Wigginton, yeah.
This is where the wreck was. Yeah, so that was the end of stage 2, the Glass Mechanic stage 2. And now pit stops.
And they are pitting. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that Adam Newton and company were able to stretch it out to go 150 laps for swim. We wait to see the 19 pull out, and then we'll bring him in for an interview, the stage 2 winner, Adam Newton. There he goes. We bring him in for swim. Adam Newton, what strategy between you and Joey Steyers and Joey Doucette to go the whole 2 stages? What was that like?
That was intense. Good teamwork with Joey, good teamwork with my guys. Hopefully we can keep this thing out front.
Was there ever any time that you thought you were going to run out of fuel before the end of stage 2, Adam?
No, we were good on fuel.
Was that just a product of the amount of cautions? Because I heard earlier that fuel, if you went green, was about 115 to 120 laps, but just having those 10, 11 cautions, were you guys just able to save enough that you weren't even worried about it?
Absolutely, yeah. We were able to save quite a bit, and my tire wear was pretty good. I just hope we get a nice, good long run, and I can keep this thing up front.
Well, Bud, we'll see what happens. There he is, Adam Newton, stage 2 winner here at the Glass Mechanic 275. And the stage 2 winner is the Glass Mechanic stage winner in the number 19. We'll take a break. More from Bristol, stage 3, 125 laps to go to decide this Dash for Cash battle at the Last Great Coliseum. And we're back here at Bristol, and Blake Lothian will now be the new leader as we get ready to go to the green flag. Stage 3, gloves are off, Bristol, and we're underway for that final stage here, the DSR Electric Truck Series, the Glass Mechanic 275. Here's the run to the finish now. Gotta wonder who has saved their equipment for this moment now, Tyler, as they work off 4. And Blake Lothian, the Wellesley Mass driver, in front.
Yeah, the Massachusetts native got a great jump. Now he's got a rear view full of Jason Bridges, who's actually come to life here after being involved in a couple incidents. He's going for the lead here. That 34 machine on the bottom here as they run through 3 and 4. He can't get it done. Now Brian Chu's going to get a big run, try and close up that gap. We're seeing a lot of guys who weren't up front most of this race who have fought some adversity up inside the top 10. Tommy Proctor, Jason Bridges, Travis Twitty, Phil Pappas. Now all those drivers kind of battling. His caution flag is out.
Yellow flag again. This is, I believe, the 13th yellow flag of the race. 13 cautions so far in 150 plus laps. And here's a look at it. Kevin Battering, Jeffrey Johnson, Steve Barnett, Brandon Bullock all around one another. And here is Battering around in, losing it into the safer barrier from the bottom to the top, or from the top to the bottom, pardon the pun. And around goes the Fowler, Indiana driver. Another caution.
Yeah, that's close. I can't tell if he hit the wall and came down and touched Barnett, or Barnett just came up a little bit there and finished him off. But we'll get a second replay here. It'd be best maybe a riding on board with the 27 machine watching this exit. We can really see if he gets into. This is the 94. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. Thank you, producer. Dean Biggles hopped in. And it looks like make contact to me. Yep.
Looks like Jeffrey Johnson was slow. He made him check up. Once he made him check up, thank you, he got into the machine of Barnett. Barnett got into Battering, and that's the end result right there.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate scenario, but a lot of those guys, further back in the field, just kind of been a microcosm of their night, not running as well as they want. Battering 2 laps down, Barnett 6 laps down. But they're still out there logging laps because we've seen so many cautions. They're hoping that more drivers fall out and they can salvage some points, right? I mean, Barnett, 10, 20 laps or 20, 30 laps ago was outside the top 30. Now he's inside the top 30. And those extra points mean everything when you're this close to the cut line, especially when you have a driver like Phil Pappas, who's just outside the cut line coming into tonight. If you want to pull up the standings real quick here, producer Dean. Phil Pappas is sitting in the 8th position right now. He was on the outside. He's 24 points back, but he's in the 8th position. Barnett's all the way back at 28. That's a 20-point gain already, so he's already cut that to 4 points. Kevin Battering, he's only 1 spot better than Barnett, so he's not going to gain a lot. I haven't seen Jose Castellanos on track tonight. He might not be racing tonight, so he won't gain anything. But Jason Bridges is in 2nd. And Barnett's back in 28, so that's a 27-point difference right there between those two drivers, 26, 27-point difference. So Barnett's losing ground to a lot of those guys who are further back from him, and that's going to make that cut line get even tighter.
Yeah, that cut line definitely making things interesting, watching that battle for sure, as Blake Lothian is now the man that leads the way, waited all the way until stage number 3 to pull out in front. He has done it now. Jason Bridges is in 2nd. Akami Proctor 3rd. Brian Chu 4th. Nate Maurer 5th. Drivers that had problems besides Lothian in the race now up in the top 5. Chris Blanchard, Travis Twitty, Phil Pappas, Jacob Reeves. Hunter Parsons quietly now climbing the top 10 in the number 15. As Tyler, he's been kind of quiet since we interviewed him.
Yeah, he really has been, but he's kind of rebounding. He was back, kind of got Martin traffic pitted there. But it's interesting to see. I don't see Adam Newton unless I'm blind. I'm going through my scoring tower and I cannot find.
He's 11th.
Machine 11th. Okay.
Adam Newton's 11th. Yep.
I was like wondering where he went. Maybe he's just shuffling right by me. But we're back green.
Back to green. This is lap 159 of 275. There's 125 laps left here in stage 3. 116 laps to go now, if you're counting it. in the Glass Mechanic 250 NASRA 360 Racing Network, and Blake Lothian is now the man that leads the way down the backstretch. Big lead over Brian Chu, the Daytona winner. Jason Bridges now want to climb back from his problems earlier in the race to get back to the third spot. Blanchard watches on into one.
Yeah, this field is really, really tight right now from about fourth on back. These drivers running side by side pretty much the entire way. The inside lane has a significant amount of drivers compared to what they had earlier on. The outside lane, though, is making all the momentum, all the moves right now. As you see, Phil Pappas right there above Nate Maurer. Hunter Parsons to his outside as well. Those two drivers, not a lot of love lost between the two of them. They've had plenty of incidents, especially on short tracks between the two of them there as they get close. There's Adam Newton looking back at him. Kerry Tribune, a little bit of a stack of trouble.
Tribune in the wall. Doucette has got to check up. Many others. Oh my goodness, guys, we're not at the end of the race yet. They're acting like it's the final lap.
Yeah, that was a massive stack up on the outside lane causing that issue.
And we'll see what happened again. Here's a look at it on the replay. You saw it in real time. Kerry Tribune and others right there. Man, Clem Dog cheering on High Side Hustlers.
I mean, what camera work by our producer to catch it live
Yeah,
when we were riding on board with the 971, but bang.
Doucette was like a ping pong ball inside of a pinball machine. Look at this. Everybody just bobbing and weaving to avoid tilt.
Yeah, I don't. If we can back it up a little bit, producer, I want to look at it from the 15. I want to know why he checks up as much as he does. Oh, nope, not that far. There, you're good. If we can look at the 15 here, Hunter Parsons. He's about 2 trucks up. There he is. Yeah. Oh, so here's what exactly happened. Jason Bridges hits the fence, collides with Blanchard. Blanchard wrecks on the front straightaway, checks up the outside lane. Yeah, we missed that starting. And look, everyone checked up. Newton gets in the back of Parsons, hits the wall. And then Tribune is checked up, and Doucette piles into the back of Tribune. So what a massive chain reaction. But it all started with Bridges hitting the fence.
Yeah, it was a stack up from there. Look at Bridges losing ground and everybody else missing him. The 9 of Blanchard inside into the pit in the inside retaining wall. 3 wide, by the way, when they dove for the lead. Akami Proctor dove it 3 wide to make a move on Bridges. All this was happening going on before the caution fail. Man, Blake Lothian still in that top spot. Here comes Kerry Tribune on pit road. So is Bridges, Jason Bridges, what might have been. He was up in the podium. Fred Lester on pit road. The White Machine, the 2 on pit road. We want to show you the points one more time here. And as we mentioned, it's crucial, Tyler, to have a lock, because that means at least 9 drivers. We've had a couple of drivers that won, but they're not full-time committed drivers, and they don't count. But of the 9 races so far of the 13, there's been winners. Multi-winner, obviously, is Taylor Peacock, who has 3 wins, most recently the All-Star race. But if you're a guy like Hunter Parsons, who is the points leader, but he is right now 10th whenever everything resets for the playoffs. If you're back behind Barnett, Castellanes might have put himself out of the picture for not showing up tonight, obviously, Tyler. But if you're battering Pappas, Bridges like the 34, you want to have a good run. You don't want to be mired in the back like you are outside the top 20.
Yeah, but that incident for Bridges is really going to hurt him on gaining on Barnett. Pappas right now, the only driver making significant ground on Barnett. Pappas is up there in the 4th position. Barnett now in 27th. Battering looks to be done for the night, so he's now falling behind Barnett as well. So only driver really gaining ground on Steve tonight is that 88 machine of Phil Pappas, as we're about to go back under the green flag.
Ready to come back to green. Lap number 169 of 275. 105 remaining when they come back to the line here at Bristol. Still a long way to go, no doubt about it, as they work back into the corner. There's Lothian. He's out in front, looking good. Chew, Pappas, Parsons, Proctor up the hill. Here comes Nate Maurer. Jacob Reeves, Tyler, is now powering back into the top 5, as well as Newton, Stage 2 winner off 4.
Yeah, Newton, the Stage 2 winner, Jacob Reeves, the redneck announcer, Joey Stiers, all leading the charge on the bottom line. Hunter Parsons joins the bottom line, trying to get around Phil Pappas. Reeves makes a mistake there on the bottom, stacks up the inside lane. That's going to hurt Stiers. Meanwhile, the battle for first is also beginning to heat up between Chu and Lothian. Chu looks to the inside here as they go through 1 and 2.
By the way, the retro colors, that red and white machine,
Caution.
that is Phil Pappas. I finally figured it out as the caution comes out now. Yellow flag on the racetrack again for the 14th time here at Bristol. I want to say it's Kevin Battering.
Battering's been off track for a while. I don't think Battering's involved.
So it's not Battering,
Stephen
okay.
Thomas. Let's look at Stephen Thomas and Nate Maurer. Those two drivers were not 23rd and 24th.
The 971 and the 420. The 971, Nate Maurer, the 420 of Stephen Thomas, we're thinking involved. Let's see it. Right around Jacob Reeves. And this was in the top 10, Tyler.
Yeah, this was top 10, close to top 5 on Maurer. He's going to go to the inside.
No!
Yep, he just loses it. And front of the field, a little bit of contact there for, I believe, Travis Twitty, Cole Henriksen, a little bit of damage. Joey just said a little bit of damage. He'll get spun around, and he's going to hit Thomas. That's what happened. I was like, where'd Thomas get involved?
Brandon Bullock on the binders to miss spinning as well. Here it is in real time from the top, from the aerial coverage. Watch again.
Ooh, this is a great view. Watch him get Kirk down and Thomas.
Cops Daytona winner, Thomas there. Let's ride on board with Stephen Thomas, the West Virginia native
This is going
from
to be
Elkview.
frustrating. He thinks he's clear. He's clear. Ooh.
Hammond gets into him. Some more trucks as well. Some of them a biscuit. Caution out, Bristol. Oh, 100 laps to go, Tyler.
It's a marathon, Wesley, not a sprint, apparently.
14th caution of the race. We'll step away. We're back with more from Bristol in a moment.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
The fastest countdown ever for our producer. Dean hopped in, a.k.a. Biggles. Biggles, I'll bring you in here. Save Captain Raspy's voice. What's your take of Bristol so far tonight, man?
Oh, hello. Are you talking to me?
I am talking to you.
Oh, sorry. They can't. Well, I'm muting myself on the stream. Yeah, no, we're. I was giving you a countdown, but as fast as how many green lap flags we're getting in here at the moment.
Yeah.
My friend. Yeah, so it's okay. It's all good. Hope you're enjoying the production out there. Hello in the chat, of course, Daniel, Jeremy, Michael, and Clem Dog. We'll shout out as well to who you're going for. Thank you all 24 for tuning in. Guess what? Green flag, guys. Over to you.
Clem Dog back to green here at the last great Coliseum. Hopefully the final caution of the night. Okay, I spoke too soon. Let's go back to, let's just get it going again, Tyler. And look at Blake Lothian. What a jump on the restart. Here's a guy that's not committed full-time to the series, Tyler. He comes and races when he can, but man, he is making a big showing in the 43.
Yeah, and he's always a threat to be reckoned with. But man, if you really want to see him running full-time and having fun, here's what I would say. Watch him tomorrow night in the SimRacerClub.com Xfinity Series. He is running full-time there. He is a treat to watch. Was just absolutely amazing last week at Watkins Glen. Didn't get the win, but that was because he sped on pit road, but rallied to finish third despite a pit road speeding penalty. It was one of the most impressive drives I've seen in a long time. But now we're watching this battle up front between Brian Chu, Blake Lothian, Hunter Parsons, Joey Stires, Phil Pappas, the top 5 under a blanket. Add Adam Newton into the mix. Top 6 under a blanket now.
It is fast and furious, and some drivers up there that really need to have a good showing, no doubt, climbing in to the top 10 of the bracket right now.
Caution.
And caution out again. I think it's
Please
Brady LaBeouf.
let it stop.
I think it's Brady LaBeouf, number 24.
No, he's been running straight. I saw him, thankfully.
24, LaBeouf has fell back to 12th. He lost 10 spots.
From the start, yeah, but I think he's fine. He didn't have a good lap.
Caution out again for the 15th time. Well, no, that's Brady. It wasn't Brady. My apologies.
No, you're
Stage
good.
1 winner. Gotta figure out who was it. Lester?
I swear, if he spins this out getting off of pit road.
Fred Lester the 6th. Did he spin on the pit lane exit?
No, not him. They already slowed down for the caution.
And let me add this as well, Tyler. Guys like Fred Lester and others that got locks on the scoring ticker, and we show
Good
you the
for them.
standings. It doesn't matter for what happens to them tonight because you know they're going to the playoffs regardless. They could have a good night. They could have a bad night. Whatever. They got a lock. You know they're going to the postseason in 3 weeks.
And that's such a relief, a weight off your shoulders as a driver, right? When you can just go out and just kind of, you don't have to be really worried about a bad finish, unlike drivers like Steve Barnett and all these guys near the cut line. Even Raul Meza, he needs to run well consistently, right? He's only +9 on the cut line. So any of these drivers really, I would say, unless you're 50 points clear of the cut line, you need to be 100% focused all the time. But now we're going to see drivers maybe make some strategy here, try and get fresh tires now that we're seeing the field get thinned out a little bit more. Maybe drivers trying to make some moves by pitting here and getting 4 fresh tires.
Watching all of this taking place here is, again, 3 wins for Taylor Peacock. Brady LaBeouf has 1 win. So does Joey Stires, Chris Cinnamon, Robert Richards, Kerry Tribune, Brian Chu, Fred Lester, Jose Luis Rivera. The other driver that has a win, Tyler, that we mentioned is Ted Wade. However, he is committed to the Friday Night Cup Series. He came in on a one-off race, and that was the event that saw Ted Wade win. He's part-time, and he picked up that win in his only start this year back in January at, of course, Texas.
Yeah, and now we're bringing back up that wonderful Mike Morales tribute scheme from Jason Morales, that one machine. You know, Mike Morales used to run this paint scheme at Irwindale way back when, the Glass Mechanic as well. Just a great tribute scheme from a son to a father, and liking to see that truck's still out here running laps, which is really great to see, because a lot of trucks are not still running laps, Wesley, as they've had some rough nights.
Listen to this. Drivers that are in the top 10 that could make it by virtue of playoff points, but do not have wins, include, as we get ready for a restart, listen to this. Hashtag overrated Hunter Parsons, Jacob Reeves, Cole Henriksen, Nate Maurer, Adam Newton, Justin White, Joey Doucette, Stephen Thomas, Taylor Peacock, Jason Morales. These are all drivers that do not have wins. Excuse me, not Peacock. Stephen Thomas, as we go back to green flag, that are in the top 20, Jason. Tyler, my apologies. Raul Meza, Steve Barnett, and Jose Castellanes and Kevin Battery. So of all those drivers, they do not have wins. They want to get a win tonight here at Bristol.
Yeah, they want to get a win tonight, but right now it's looking like drivers who are probably more comfortable in points or who already have wins or part-timers, right? In the case of Blake Lothian out front now, Joey Stiers finding himself up in the second position, got away from Hunter Parsons and Adam Newton here in this Ram. We're under caution. I don't even know why.
And another
I was
yellow
going to say, but they
flag.
got away.
Another caution. Another caution. Blake Lothian, I don't even see him even in the scoring for this race at all. Oh, yeah, here he is. This is his 4th start this year, starting tonight. 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s for Blake Lothian, 48th in the point standings, part-time driver. As we mentioned, Tyler Dittmer, he has got a runner-up finish at Indianapolis back in January the 29th. Got a 4th place finish at Atlanta at the All-Star race. And, of course, Iowa. He finished in 12th. Here's a look at why we're under caution again. What is that, 16th, 17th yellow flag of the race?
Yeah. I'm not
Hammond
exactly sure.
around again.
Yeah, he just lost it on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. He lost it on his own.
16th. Caution 16.
Let's yeah, that's unfortunate. I say maybe we take a
Let's bring in Lothian. Can we bring in Blake? Let's bring in Blake Lothian if we can.
is he actually in a channel? I can never find him most of the time. He normally is not, which is the frustrating thing. And I don't see him.
He doesn't want to be bothered by us. Let's grab another one of the swim drivers. Let's bring in Joey Stiers and get his take of the race so far. Joey, you're in the number 2 spot right behind Blake Lothian, the man out of Mackinac, Illinois. What's the Green Mean Machine doing to survive Bristol tonight?
Man, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing right. I'm just kind of right place, right time. There was that big wreck early with Chris Blanchard, and I thought we were destroyed. I kind of made some contact with Joey Doucette, but we made it through, and we got our fresh tires, and we're trying to drive back up here to the lead. Blake's giving me a run for his money.
Tyler, you got anything for
I was gonna say, Joey,
Joey,
how frustrating is it to not be able to get a solid green flag run in and kind of settle into a rhythm when it feels like everything you do is just a 2-lap shootout?
I mean, it is frustrating, but we really haven't had that much lap traffic to run into this race, which is kind of surprising because I thought sure we'd get a couple green flag runs, but yeah, it is kind of shocking that we're not getting at least, the 20, 30 lap runs here that I kind of want.
Joey, it's Biggles up here in the production trailer. You reckon get a jump on Blake early on this one and the 2-lap or 3-lap shootout? Take the lead of this race?
Yeah, I don't know. He's not in our Discord right now, and he is a teammate, so I don't quite know when he's going to jump here, which it's making me nervous because I got Adam right behind me.
We'll count you down from the broadcast. 5, 4, 3, go, go, go.
Appreciate it, boys.
Well, don't jump the restart yet. We're still under caution. Joey, good luck, man. Have fun.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There's swim driver, and he is, of course, right alongside another swim man, Blake Lothian. That is Joey Stiers, the Green Mean Machine. He'll start on the inside. Adam Newton behind him, Phil Pappas, Jacob Reeves. I'll be honest with you, Tyler Dittmer, anybody in the top 10, top 15 for that matter, they got a shot to win this damn race. It's not over as we approach lap 200.
As long as you're on the lead lap at this point, Wesley, you have a chance.
Right.
A little bit of info I got from Hunter Parsons. He had some wheel damage from that earlier incident where they checked up and he got put in the outside wall, so his wheel's a little bit offset as we're back under the green flag.
Approaching a couple of more laps to lap 200. 78 laps to be exact when the field came back to the Geico restart zone, and Blake Lothian again is gone. His teammate Joey Stiers down to the inside, right there with him, right there behind those drivers. Here comes Hunter Parsons back in the song and dance. Newton will follow, and the caution's waving again.
Oh my!
Travis Twitty, Joey Doucette. Oh no, Robert Richards, Taylor Peacock, Kerry Tribune. It's a big stack up here.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is bad. This race will never end.
It's a scramble.
Because they're not going fast enough to take anyone out at this point, producer. Was that for those of you wondering how they can keep wrecking, that is how. They are not going quick enough to destroy these trucks, but Gregory gets punted by Thomas. Yep, that's Stephen Thomas. There's another wreck in front of him. Joey Doucette piles in, and everyone else piles in. There's nowhere to go.
Guys are wrecking each other like they're in the funny papers. Rack and pinion, right? Yeah. Biggles.
Driver Hunter Parsons just
cars.
Yeah, driver Hunter Parsons just reached out to me and just a simple message. This is fun. We're having fun. Shades of, I want to say, Christopher Bell at the Coliseum.
Yes,
he got spun around.
Yes.
This is how I feel. I agree with the number 15 hashtag overrated machine.
Hey, by the way, there's
something.
always next week, the next race on the schedule will be Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The next round
That'll be
is
so much better.
Dash for Cash. Yes, 2.5 miles at Indy. And then Daytona, the wild card. There's a look at the schedule to lock in those, of course, 20 drivers to make it into the playoffs. And I can't believe, Tyler Dittmer, that we're already at the home stretch of season number 3 in the regular season, brother.
It is crazy, and I'm excited for these next 2 races because mistakes will be, instead of akin to going to the tail end of the field, mistakes at Daytona and Indianapolis are akin to you go on the hauler and you head home because your truck is torn up. So excited to see how that race plays out in the next 2 weeks. Love those 2 tracks.
Indianapolis and Daytona, both 2.5 miles in length, but obviously you race them completely differently. And make no mistake, a wild card is going to be Daytona to decide who will make it into the Fast 20 to race for the playoffs.
For sure, as we see now, these drivers still trying to get reset, refocused here. Still over 70 laps left in this race, and
by the way, Tyler, speaking of the playoffs, man, obviously after Indianapolis and Daytona, you've got a pretty wild playoff card here for the Sweet 20. Pocono Raceway to kick it off, right? On March 18th.
Yep.
Then you're going road course racing at Watkins Glen. I think that's going to be very unusual to have a road course in the playoffs in the first round. And then there's that elimination race at Darlington Raceway. 3 very unique racetracks to open up the Sweet 20 to make the Fast 14.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that you run at 3 straight 2.5 mile ovals, albeit with Indy, Daytona, Pocono. But like you mentioned, 3 very different styles of racetracks, 3 very different ways you approach each of those racetracks. And really, Pocono race is kind of like a road course, and how there's 3 very different corners which require a mixture of braking, shifting, so on and so forth. So those 2 races may be more similar than we think in who prevails.
And we're going to come back for the restart. The Fast 14 will include 2 rounds at North Wilkesboro in Michigan. The Elite 10 will be at Atlanta, the old model, not the new Super Speedway model, but the old model Atlanta. Talladega, the wild card for the championship at Charlotte, May 6th. I know it's February headed into March, but we got a long way to go in these races for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series. And can we at least complete 2-3 green flag laps? Steyrs battles Lothian on the inside. Adam Newton up under the tailgate of Lothian as they almost bump draft one another as they hit a bump going in the corner. They're trying to battle for the lead here.
Yeah, 3 drivers, all teammates battling for the lead. Steyrs was able to prevail over Newton, but now he's got to take the battle to Lothian, and that's going to allow Newton back to his outside again. So Steyrs kind of in a precarious position. He's going to give up some momentum to those 2 drivers on the outside on the straightaways, but shorter way around. Can he clear the 19? He kind of forces his way up in there, move the 23 into second.
Jeff Sickles has got to be beside himself right now because Swim Racing 1, 2, 3 on the podium right now with the laps winding down. Blake Lothian now in the lead, but for how long? Hunter Parsons, Brian Chu, they're in the top 5. They're watching this 3-truck tango going at it out of 4.
They might be 1, 2, 3, 4 here shortly. Brian Chu definitely faster than Parsons. Parsons told me he has wheel damage, so I'm expecting that 51 to get around. Steyer's try to move again on Lothian. Couldn't get it to work. Got loose there off of 4. Can't make it happen this time. He's going to have to reset, refocus. But now he's got Newton breathing down his neck. So these drivers are battling hard. But now you see it looks like Cole Henriksen back there in the 6th position trying to take away 5th from Brian Chu.
Don't want to jinx anything, but obviously we've got a couple of laps here, clean and green. And oh my goodness,
you jinxed it.
Caution is out. Problems on the racetrack. I want to say it's this. Oh no, is it Joey Doucette, the 16? That's showing the 16 stalled a little bit.
16 stalled. Gregory's also off track now.
Yeah.
61 at Gregory. We'll have to see. Yeah,
Joey Doucette, the 16 is what I saw up on the top of the track map. Let's see what happened. Oakland, Maine driver Joey Doucette. Pappas, what a save. And around goes Doucette, going up the racetrack. And Kerry Tribune, nowhere to go. Peacock either. Oh, man. And that's my fault because I literally was like, you know, we're finally in a good green flag run, more than a couple of laps. No, not the case.
Ooh, Blake Lothian came down pit road. Lothian down pit road here.
He might have had no choice.
Yeah, when was the last time he had pitted before this? He lost on his own. He comes up and there's everyone there.
Lap 83 was the last time he pitted.
If you wanted to go back to the replay, you could look at, well, Lothian came down pit road, so that's not a good replay view, but...
Joey Steyers, though, he likes that. He's back to the lead now.
It's great for the 23, and being able to control these restarts, we were able to watch Lothian kind of pull away almost every single restart for a lap or two. But Bray LaBeouf also down pit road, Brian Chu down pit road, Nate Maurer down pit road, Jacob Reeves down pit road. A lot of drivers coming down here, getting service with over 60 laps here to go, Wesley.
Yeah. Service being done. Yeah, Kevin Battering has been on pit road for a long time. I think he's pretty much done for multiple laps down. Oh boy. 215 of 275, and we are not done yet. By the way, 18 cautions in this race at Bristol. We'll take a break. We're back. More in a moment. Stage 3.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Welcome back to Bristol. Settle in. We're not done yet. 216 of 275. Tyler Dittmer. I'm Wesley Outland. Next week, it's on to Indianapolis and the Dash for Cash. Speaking of that, Tyler, where are the Dash for Cash drivers right now on the racetrack?
Well, one of them's in first. One of them's in first. Another one is, fifth, Chris Cinnamon. I have to scroll for a while.
Those are your four. That's the 4 finishers from last week. Am I correct?
Yeah, so it's Steyers, Cinnamon, Maurer, and Barnett. Barnett's way out. Mauer's back in 17th. So yeah, really it's just Steyers and Cinnamon.
Yeah, Steyers and Cinnamon right now in 1st and 6th. The interval back to green on lap number 216 this time by when they come to the line. 217 on the board. Hopefully we can get to the finish of this thing now, as obviously it is Joey Steyers, the Mean Green Machine, Mackinac, Illinois, leading the way. They're going to try to go 3 wide if Richards can get there to the back of Parsons.
Ooh, contact there between Parsons and Cinnamon. And they kept it straight, but it looks like Parsons and Cinnamon got together. Cinnamon hit the fence because of it. Richards now looking for a move to the inside. Hammond's there with them. Hammond's been around a couple times today by himself. as we will keep watching the rest of this battle here. Lothian trying to work his way up through the field after pitting here under this last caution. So we got 55 laps to go at this time at the stripe.
And you know, Tyler, mentioning Timothy Hammond, as you're on board with Blake Lothian, by the way, trying to climb back through the field. He's in 8th. He is flying through the field, trying to go after Richards, trying to get after Cinnamon and Parsons on the inside. Watching Hammond, though, look at all the bad luck that Timmy Hammond had. Timothy Hammond consistently, though, right back into the top 10. What a run for the 69 in 9th, and we got a caution. Another caution is out. The 32 is involved. That's Twitty's machine. Travis Twitty and some others, and we go under yellow flag. Travis Twitty in the 32. Here is a look at what happened to put us under yellow flag. The man out of Polk County, North Carolina. Look at that there, Tyler. Just lost it on the front stretch.
Yeah, this has been a common theme tonight.
It
looks
has.
like drivers just not being able to control their cars.
This is the race that will not end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Yeah, he just loops it.
Look at
It's
this.
Just
Oh, my.
yeah, Bristol getting all the advertising here tonight, but Steyer's
our
not coming down pit
producer
road. The leader's pitting.
I think he's got no choice. Joey Steyer's on pit road. Adam Newton, by the way, now the stage 2 winner is back to the lead.
This has been a long race, Wesley.
Graphics coming soon. It has, man. It has. And obviously, we're just we're kind of winded here now, just trying our best to survive, if you will. And I wonder how these guys are in the cockpit.
Yeah, it's been a long race, a long day so far, and these drivers are fighting for survival.
Yeah, hello. It's Dean in the production trailer. I want to ask you gentlemen, quickly. What happens, like, if you're stretching into more of a getting close to an endurance race? Like, what about bathroom breaks and stuff like that? Is that somebody that gets frustrated? I could imagine you're like maybe expecting a race to be an hour and a half, and then all of a sudden it turns up like 2 to 3 hours. You're like, oh god. Isn't that sense of urgency must be really
I mean, if they got to go in their driver's suit, they go in their driver's suit.
Good.
Like,
I say, if you listen to Action's Detrimental, Hamlin talked about it this weekend.
Yeah.
It's the first time he's done it.
True story. I mean, a true story. One time, Tony Stewart was at a race and it went long, and he did number 2 in his pants and had to run to the restroom after the race to change out because obviously he couldn't hold it. I mean, honestly, I'm being honest here. People ask these questions. It's the honest truth. If you go in your driving suit. Yeah, no, it's the truth. If they go to the restroom, they literally do number 1 or 2 in the cockpit. Seriously, yeah. I know it sounds kind of nasty, but I mean, I'm being honest. I mean, you think about it, and I'll be honest with you. That's why a lot of race car drivers, for the most part, guys, and they'll tell me this. That's why they normally wear dark suits, because obviously, if it's a lighter color, then you can spot things a lot more easier. Yeah, let's thank our sponsor here. There he is, Glass Mechanic. And that wrap job throwback to when the Morellis family ran at Irwindale Speedway. Nice looking machine. They're trying to get me out of the bathroom, get bathroom commentary, Tyler. So good cover. And there's Tyler's face on the truck. There's Tyler's face on the truck. I haven't got my face on the truck yet, so I'm doing pretty good. Let's go back to green.
I wish I could say this is the first time. Unironically, Wesley. Yeah, it has with Joey Doucette, I believe, with his Golden Boy paint scheme.
Yeah, I remember that. Under 50 laps to go, trying to get to the home stretch of this one. How many cautions have we had? 20, 21?
Who knows anymore? We're getting up there.
Down the back.
It's interesting, Wesley.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say we've come full circle. At the beginning of this race, it was Swim, Mission 1, and Highline Racing all inside the top 7. Now it's the top 6 with Cinnamon being the first upfront driver, but it's still now we're back to Mission 1, Highline, and Swim.
Gotta somehow get to the finish of this one here. Who can save it till the end is right now. There you see overrated, hashtag overrated Hunter Parsons. The cheesehead originally from Green Bay, Wisconsin, now from Salisbury, or actually Statesville, North Carolina. Here comes Cole Hendrickson right back into the battle again. He makes a crossover move on Adam Newton. Look at this. It's like dirt track style here in Bristol, trying to get around him, and he can't get there yet.
Cole Henderson.
Oh, caution.
Oh, come on. I was about to say Cole Henderson, the driver.
420 around. That is, who is that? The 420, Stephen Thomas. Caution for Stephen Thomas. Oh.
Everyone
Yellow flag out again. 20th caution of the race now. Oh, here you go, Adam Gregory. Or Stephen Gregory, my apologies. Man, he didn't even lift. Wow.
Yeah, it looked almost like Gregory's controller shut off in the way that it just went straight. Akin to like what would be a right front flat in the real world, but not really a thing in iRacing as much. You don't just have right front tires explode. It more looks like...
He might have left. He might have said, I've had enough of this.
Yeah, it literally just looks like Gregory's wheel turns off at one point. We'll have to figure out what happens here. But he just goes straight. He starts to turn and then just launches up the surface. You'll see he turns in.
Look at this.
Here, we'll see. Watch it right here. Will give us the best view. Yeah, he's already got wheel damage. He's already turning way right. And
whoa!
Yep. Well, I don't know.
Oh, no, that might have been a racing deal right there. He hooked the left rear. Oh, my goodness. Everybody behind the top 20 have pitted again. There's Colossus TV. It's got a lot of spins and thrills and spills on the video board tonight. iRacing has not disappointed here at Bristol. That's for sure. We'll be at Indianapolis next week for the penultimate race of the regular season. Penultimate race in the Dash for Cash. And then Daytona. And obviously, Tyler Dittmer, Daytona coming up in 2 weeks. Going to be a completely different animal than the Daytona we had when the season started.
Yeah, it will be, and it's going to be a different animal, not because, season opening jitters. It's going to be a different animal because this is going to be the last chance for a lot of drivers to make the playoffs.
Desperation.
And desperation will play a huge factor, but you may see drivers be smart because even though they're desperate, they have to realize they have to make it to the end of the race in order for that desperation to really mean anything. So we're looking back here at the point standings. Drivers who have had rough nights. Obviously, Steve Barnett's had a rough night. Raul Meza has not had a great night either. He's back in 20th. Still going to gain some ground on Barnett, though, in that cut line. Morales has rebounded to be inside the top 10. Justin White, terrible night for him. He's going to finish 33rd, 117 laps down. So, rough nights for a lot of drivers.
Well, we will try this
again.
One more lap under caution. The lights will go off. This time by, it will be less than 40 laps to go here.
Yeah, gentlemen, I've got word from race control that the pace truck may run out of gasoline soon. That I didn't really expect it to be running out on the track this long. So we'll have to get a splash and dash. We need a pace car. You need the box, please.
Splash and go for the pace car, for the pace truck. So, thank you for that great commentary there, if you will. Dean Hopton. All right, let's try this again.
We need this to make it fun.
We do. After 20 cautions, we're ready to go back to green. Lap 239. Lap 237, actually, of 275. Down into turn number 3. Look at the move now. Oh, yeah. Pace car caught fire one time at Daytona. Adam Newton inside. Battles. Oh, he got into Richards. And he turned him. Nowhere to go for Bridges. He gets slammed into a Connie Proctor. Brandon Bullock. Maurer involved. They're still rocking behind them. Barnett at 20, battering. White, the big one on lap 239. Wow.
And this is perfect for Cole Henriksen. I mean, a driver who hasn't had a win yet. He's been running really, really well all season long. Yeah, you got to find Adam Newton. He's going to get tagged here by Robbie Richards just ever so slightly. And that's all she writes for most of the field here as they try to avoid the chaos that's going to ensue. But here
I
you
give
go,
up.
right
I give up.
there.
Richards and Newton, there it is. There's the shot. Tyler, I would not call that intentional on the 48. That was
No.
just a racing move right there, man.
Yeah,
Newton
that's
had a
just tight.
run, Richards had a run, and they were not going to give it up on one another. Bottom line.
Nope. And everyone else has nowhere to go. Brandon Bullock nails him. Thomas is involved. That's Lester's involved. Proctor, Bridges. Yeah. The list keeps getting shorter and shorter on trucks we think can survive this race. 21 cautions now.
Phil Pappas, Little Caesar's machine. He just staying out of trouble.
Name of the game at this point.
Oh my goodness. You're stupid.
This is ridiculous.
Let's grab Robbie Richards and Robert, man, this is crazy here at Bristol. Your take on what happened between you and Newton, and you're in the lead. Could we see you win this thing, man?
Man, I sure hope so. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I know I had to run on him, and I went down under him. I'm not sure if we met in the middle. I'm not sure. I don't know really what happened. It was if there was any contact, it had to be just meeting in the middle or something. But
Right.
I'm not sure, and I hate it for Adam. He dominated. He's been dominating this race. I will definitely talk to him after the race and kind of get his take on it, and maybe compare the replays and see what we can come up with. But if it was on me, I'll take blame for it after we view it. But that's
I
not
would
how
just
I
say
want
it
it.
was
That's
you two
not.
fighting for. I would just say it was you two fighting for the same spot. Nobody was going to relinquish it. Bottom
Well,
line, and you're coming to the end of the race.
Ultimately, I mean, it was a ruled a racing incident. But we'll have to see. I did not want that to happen, obviously.
Right.
I know I'm on fresher tires than him. I did have a run on him, but I felt like I was holding the bottom pretty well. So we'll have to see. I don't want to make no sudden call or anything like that.
Hey, real quickly, you're getting ready to go back to green. What's your take of all this calamity we've had here at Bristol? 21 cautions so far.
Man, it's been crazy. I've been up here, I've been in the back, I've been avoiding the wrecks. It's been wild. I'm just gonna try to ride it out to the end.
All right, man. We'll let you get back into the box with, of course, Hotline Racing. There you go. There's the thoughts of Robbie Richards. We are not done yet.
Nope.
Over 30 laps to go. And that was the thoughts of Robert Richards as we get ready to come back to the Geico restart zone. Yes, here we come. A green flag back out. 30 laps remaining to the finish of this one here. And Robert Richards, who we just spoke to, pulling away like a thief in the night from the cavalry. If he can survive it, he's in 3 and leading. Not for long. Hendrickson inside. Here comes Cinnamon on the bottom as they work off 4.
The field is bunched up a lot. Doesn't look like any of these drivers are as strong as the other drivers who are able to kind of pull away for the lead. Right now, Richards and Henriksen battle side by side. Parsons and Cinnamon battle side by side. Lothian Morales and make that LaBeouf and Stiers. It's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 for now. The top 8 all under a blanket as they race through herds 1 and 2 again.
Robert Richards now in that top spot. One truck dropping off back to the bottom of the racetrack. He might have a problem. We still stay under the green flag. Robert Richards, Cole Henriksen right there in tow. Chevrolet, Toyota, Chevrolet, Toyota, Chevrolet, Toyota, Chevrolet, Toyota. Your top 8. Toyota, Chevrolet, top 10. Richards leads them off the corner.
Yeah, the Fords are left out of the party for the time being. These drivers are trying to figure out who's going to run where. Parsons now under attack from his boss. That's Jason Morales and that Mike Morales tribute scheme. That one machine on the bottom of the 15 here as they go through 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Lothian stuck behind the 15. We think he's fast enough to get by these two, but he just can't make a move here on the top side, kind of boxed in. Meanwhile, you have Stiers, who we also believe has some speed, and then Brady LaBeouf, who led a majority of this first stage, won the first stage. He's trying to make a move and get up further inside the top 10 right now, but we're going to ride on board here with Brady LaBeouf here as they work down the front straightaway.
Stage 1 winner, Brady LaBeouf, 25 to go here at Bristol, lap 250 on the scoreboard. Here comes Blake Lothian now to the outside, stage 2 winner. All of this going on as they work their way across. Adam Newton, stage 2 winner, as all this is going on. Look at this battle closing in as they work off turn 4. Richards up high. Here comes Henriksen to the inside. Cinnamon on the bottom as they work off the corner.
Man from the north has found himself down at the bottom. Now, Newton's going to a Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott moment with Newton and Richards there, and that's going to actually open up space for Richards. Richards is going to get almost a half a second lead from that, so what Newton thought he was doing is trying to hold up the leader, did quite the opposite, actually. Everyone else was worried they were going to wreck. Richards holds on. He has a half-second lead now, Wesley.
And how in the world did they not wreck Richards and Adam Newton? Somehow they hold it together. 22 laps to go. Aerial coverage here. Righty now. Morel is inside, trying to go after Cinnamon. Here comes now the 23 machine back in the battle. That's going to be Joey Stiers to the inside as he makes a run on him out of 4.
And Brady LaBeouf here going to try and capitalize as these two run side by side, try and follow whoever's faster through. Richards still holding that half-second lead. The battle for the dash for cash also heating up. That's Chris Cinnamon third. Joey Stiers there trying to get up to him. He's in 4th now, going to drop to 5th as him and Morales continue to battle on. Blake Lothian now holds that 7th position. Parsons under fire from Nate Maurer for 8th. He's falling back. We know he has significant wheel damage with that number 15 machine. He's trying to hold on for dear life these last 19 laps.
Robert Richards trying to be the first driver besides Taylor Peacock to be multi-time winners this year. He won back on December the 18th, 2023 at Homestead Miami Speedway. It's been a long drought for the man from Gastonia, North Carolina. But can he hold on? We're under 20 to go, and he's got a snarling, growling pack of trucks behind him into 3.
Yeah, and the battle for the dash for cash is now a positional battle. That's Chris Cinnamon, Joey Stiers, 3rd and 4th. So the battle for the lead has tightened up. Call it about 0.3 of a second between Richards and Henriksen. But also the battle for dash for cash, call it less than 0.2 between Stiers and Cinnamon. They're going to be close there as LaBeouf clears Morales there on the front straightaway.
And remember, those top 4 drivers at the conclusion here tonight at Bristol will be at the penultimate race of the season and the Dash for Cash race at Indianapolis next Monday night here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. You're on board with the leader from the tailgate. It's Robert Richards. Behind him, he's got a trunk full of Henriksen, Cinnamon, Stiers, LaBeouf peeking to the bottom. Here comes the 24 to the inside.
Brady LaBeouf wants to give himself a shot at the dash for cash next week, but you got to finish in the top 4 to do that with no part-timers currently in the top 4. Right now, your dash for cash next week would be those top 4. Stiers, though, trying to win the dash for cash tonight. He needs to get by Chris Cinnamon, the third truck, who is the number 3 truck holding that position. Meanwhile, still, it's Richards up front by almost 0.4 of a second over Cole Henderson, but they're catching Newton again. Wesley, hold on to your hats.
Robert Richards is in the lead, but how long will that last as Adam Newton is right there to the inside, got into him, they make contact, they run each other up the racetrack. Richards goes to the inside, clears the 19. Henriksen now's got to make a bonsai defensive move to go to the bottom, and they're going to go 3 wide with Cinnamon to the bottom into 2.
Richards makes the move back by the 19 again. At this point, to find race control, you have to park the 19. You get 1 shot at retaliation. He's tried twice now. This is affecting the outcome of the race. I think this is beyond Busch League at this point. But now the battle for second is going to be tight. Richards is gone. Call it 3/4 of a second now, Wesley. But now the battle for dash for cash is insane because Stiers and Cinnamon are side by side.
And while that goes on, Henriksen to the inside. Behind him, Joey Stiers, Brady LaBeouf, Cinnamon on the bottom. He's the man on the inside by his lonesome. Here they work off the corner. LaBeouf gets the clear on Cinnamon, and we got a caution. Yellow flag out over the racetrack. It's Timothy Hammond, the 69 machine, and some more drivers are involved. Timothy Hammond puts us under yellow flag as we approach under 10 laps to go here at Bristol in the Glass Mechanic 275. Here's a look at the replay. And all of this craziness comes to an end.
What is this, the fourth? Nope, he gets tagged that by Maurer. It looked like Nate Maurer tags him in. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's unfortunate. I thought we were going to have a great battle here at the end for second. I mean, Richards was gone. Robbie Richards, I feel bad for him, getting this caution late. He had pulled away, and he deserves a lot of credit for, dealing with Adam Newton's shenanigans at, in my opinion, yeah, Newton has every right to be mad. You get one shot at it, but to do it twice.
I think there's frustration there. I really do. I think there's some frustration there. Barnett again involved. Phil Pappas, late rally caution. You see that happening, and man.
I agree there's frustration, Wesley, but in my opinion, if you don't get it the first time, you got to let it go. In my opinion, you're affecting the race for these four guys. Imagine if he had wrecked Richards fully and also took out Henriksen, Stiers, and LaBeouf. He had his one shot. He needs to chill out at this point. I'm taking an issue with this being a continued
Newton is
thing.
on pit road right now. Adam Newton is on the pit lane. As we see Stephen Thomas and others, Adam Newton is on pit road, so he might be parked by TJ Moore, the race director. There might have been a decision made here to say, hey, you're done. And I think that's exactly what we might be looking at here, as Adam Newton is still on pit road, and I don't see a lot of work being done as far as repairs or tire changes or fuel being added. They might have parked the 19, Tyler Dittmer. You might be dead on this here.
And I get the first time you do it, right? Because he didn't wreck him the first time and Richards got through. But the second time he was trying to, you could tell. He ran him to the apron.
Clear. Yeah, it was clear. You could tell it. And you can now, we've now been confirmed. Adam Newton, I believe, is out. And we will get ready for a restart here. And by the way, we're still in the regular scheduled distance. We still got 4 laps to go. There's a chance at overtime here as well at Bristol, Tyler Dittmer.
This might be a traditional non-extended green-white checker where we'll get the green flag with 2 to go in the scheduled distance, Wesley. So we will get, in theory, 4 tries at this if that's how it works out. But,
yeah, it's true. We'll see.
These top 5 guys have been battling hard. It's been impressive, and even if Richards gets a great jump and pulls away, the battling is not done because Cinnamon and Stiers are still battling for that Dash for Cash win. And, there's 5 drivers who've been super competitive, and Jason Rouse could steal a spot here as well. It'll be interesting.
Adam Newton is still on pit road. Obviously, we were thinking he's been parked. He is not rolling back on track. 22 cautions in this race set us up now for a 4. Now make it a 3-lap shootout here at the last great Coliseum on the concrete at Bristol Motor Speedway. No doubt this has been an exciting one. I'm Wesley Outland, Tyler Dittmer alongside Bigglestein Hopton on production. What a show. And somehow TJ Moore trying to keep this virtual chaos and mayhem under, of course, control, if you will, as we get ready to come to the green flag. 3 laps to go in the scheduled distance. Here they come to the Geico restart zone. Let's settle it here at Bristol. Richards, great restart to the outside. Henriksen on tow. Here comes also Stiers, LaBeouf. All these guys are going at it into 3, and they hold it together.
Yeah, Cinnamon, not a great restart. Stiers going to have to try and do it here on the bottom. He wants to be side by side with Henriksen. Gets loose, cautions out. We're going to overtime.
Caution out, overtime upon us here at Bristol. Yellow flag will fly. Oh, I want to say it might be the 971, Nate Maurer. Nate Maurer, I believe, calls the caution, guys. The driver in the top. Well, he probably was in the caution. Oh, let's see what happened. And there's, what is it, Twitty right there. And there he is. Yep, there's Maurer. There's Frank.
Jeez.
Well, Tyler, I watched Cars the other night. Cars 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, nice.
It feels like there's a ghost light over Bristol tonight, right?
I say TJ Moore's notebook's going to be very, very full at this point, if not already filled to the brim. I feel bad, but first time at over.
23
First time.
cautions. 23 cautions in this race. 23, and we are getting ready for overtime number 1 because we never got the original overtime completed. So this will be the first attempt at overtime, Tyler Dittmer.
All these wrecks have been great for Steve Barnett. He's actually 21st now, by the way.
Consistency for Brian Chu. Yeah.
Brian has been, hello everybody. Brian has been in pit road 8 times. 9 now. And he was right in the top 10. That's pretty impressive considering you look at Robert Richards, our race leader at the moment, 3 times. Joey in P3 only 2 times down in pit road.
That is the, by the way, dulcet tones of our producer, Biggles, Dean Hopton. Yes, and you hear him sometimes in commentary as well. Yeah, cheerio, pip, cheerio, Biggles. Catching all the action. This has been crazy tonight. We've been on the air for going on almost 2.5 hours, and I'm going to tell Brady I want to race.
We need it after this race.
You want to race? We'll get you in the car.
No, I want a raise, not race.
Yeah, race. You want to race?
No, not race. Raise. I want a raise.
I don't want to race tonight for sure.
Teasing you. How everybody in the chat, of course, they're hanging in there. Thank you all for 23 watching. Let's go Styres. Bring it home for the boys, he says.
And Styres will restart on the inside.
Yeah, he's right there in the hunt. Here you go. Explain overtime rules to our audience here at Bristol, Tyler, if nobody knows about it. First-time watchers or whatnot.
Yeah, we'll get 3 attempts at the green-white checkers. If we hit the white flag, next flag will end it. In iRacing, they generally do not throw a caution for a wreck on the last lap once the white flag is out, so that could be a very chaotic end to this race, Wesley. But if we get the caution before the leader gets to the white flag, we'll stack them up and do them again until our 3rd attempt is complete, or we finally find an end to this race, which at this point, I'm not betting on either.
Coming up, the NRE Power Systems post-race wrap-up after we have overtime here at Bristol. 275 laps was not enough. We're on lap 278. Lights off on the pace truck. Green, white checker. Here we go. Attempt number 1 at the last great Coliseum. Richards gets the jump on the outside. Scampers away from LaBeouf. He's on the bottom now. It's Hendrickson. All these guys hold their line as they work off 2. They keep it together.
LaBeouf gave a big shove to his teammate Robbie Richards there through 1 and 2. Richards is going to clear. He's going to try and get to the white flag. White flag is out. Race is official, Wesley.
Final time around. Holding it together. Back straight away. Robbie Richards has not won since December. Brady LaBeouf, one more shot at him on the bottom. Can't get there. Robbie Richards survives Adam Newton and everyone else after him behind in overtime 1 to win the Class Mechanic 280 here at Bristol.
It's over. Oh, thank goodness it's over.
Oh, it is over. Put me to bed, Mama. I've been in a big one tonight. Brady LaBeouf second. Joey Styres will finish in 3rd in a race that's seen over 20-plus caution flags. Finally, in 1 attempt at overtime, Robert Richards is the man that picks up his 2nd win of the year. Last time he won was back on December 18th of the year 2023 at Homestead, Miami. He now joins only one other driver, Taylor Peacock, with multiple wins on the year. And if that's not enough, he will be one of the final 4 in the penultimate race at Indy next week in the Dash for Cash for the 48.
Yep, he will, and he'll be joined by Brady LaBeouf, Joey Styres, and Cole Henriksen. Joey Styres will win your Dash for Cash tonight, and so he'll get a chance at winning a 2nd Dash for Cash next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But he's got some tough competition, those 3 other drivers, but Richards burning it down here on the front straightaway at Bristol. He survived not just the chaos of Bristol, but 2 attempts by Adam Newton to wreck him after the fact. So NRE Power Systems post-race interviews should be pretty interesting here, Wesley, as we're going to pull up the results.
He would love to hear his thoughts on the subject, obviously, and Here's a look at the results, no doubt. As again, coming up, we'll grab the drivers on the podium in Power Systems post-race wrap-up. And here's a look at, again, Robert Richards picking up the victory. Second spot's going to go to Brady LaBeouf, Joey Stiers third, Cole Henriksen, Chris Cinnamon, your top five. Morales, Doucette, Lothian, Parsons, Reeves, all in the top 10. They've all in some shape or form had calamity. I think everybody on the scoring pylon in some shape or form had bumps, bangs, gouges to survive Bristol. No doubt about it. Phil Pappas, another strong run. Fred Lester, Akami Proctor, Timothy Hammond, Jeffrey Johnson, Stephen Thomas in the top 17. Brian Chew in 17th there, Adam. Tyler.
Yeah, as you look back through the rest of the results tonight, 18th position, further on back, Nate Maurer involved in some late race incidents. Adam Newton, who did not end up being parked. I saw his truck back out on track there during the last green white checker. Travis Twitty, 20th. Steve Barnett, rallies for 21st, so he'll minimize the damage lost to Phil Pappas on the point standings. Wesley, as you look at the rest of the field here, multiple laps down due to multiple incidents. Let the viewers at home find their favorite driver further on back.
Multiple laps down. Everybody from at least 18th on back on the laps down, one or more whenever this race concluded, or 19th on back, I meant to say. So we're going to take a break. Coming up, the NRE Power Systems post-race wrap-up in the Glass Mechanic 280 tonight here at Bristol. It took another extra handful of laps to go in overtime. When it's all said and done, from Gastonia, North Carolina, Robert Richards winning the Cops entry, number 48, his second win of the year. He survives Bristol. There's no other word to describe it. We'll get their thoughts on the podium. We're back in a moment from Bristol. This is the NASRA 360 Racing Network and the DSR Electric Truck Series. Back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, make no mistake about it, one that was interesting and one we will not forget. I'm Wesley Outland. Tyler Dittmer is alongside. We're going to grab every driver on the podium, 1, 2, and 3, as it's time for the NRE Power Systems post-race wrap-up after a wild one, caution field, and an overtime finish to decide it. Robert Richards will grab you first, man. Somehow, some way, you survive Bristol. Congratulations. Your take of this wild night in the 48, your second win of the year. By the way, you're the only multi-time winner, joining Taylor Peacock with 3.
Oh, so I didn't know that. Yeah, the race night, man, it was started off great. In seasons past, this race has been typically fairly clean. I don't know what's going on tonight. It was a wild one. I mean, when we last talked, it was up to 20 cautions or 21 cautions. I'm not sure. But then we had a couple more after that. So that's typically not typical of this series. But with short track racing, you have these cautions and stuff like that. But yeah, I was able to get the lead, and I knew if I get there and hold the top line, I'd be able to hold it, at least for the most part, unless one of these other guys who had fresher tires got up there. It might have been more of a struggle. So, unfortunately, I mean, me and Adam made contact. I went back and looked at the replay. I believe it was the right call. I know Adam's not happy. He kind of raced me questionable when he was being lapped down. It is what it is. That's the way he's want to do that, but nothing less. Was able to get the win out of it.
Yeah, Robbie, real quick before I ask you to thank your sponsor, you mentioned, the way Newton raced you, and I said in the booth immediately after the second time, I thought the first time maybe you could justify, right? He didn't fully wreck you. You made a great job saving and actually kind of helped you both times he did it because you pull that to over a half-second lead. But what is it like when you see him the second time and like, oh, is he finally going to let up and let it go, or am I going to have to not get wrecked here again?
Yeah, I was trying to judge it to where I could get get to him going into the turn and get up under him and get the run off. And I knew if he was going to intentionally wreck me, it would have been there. Um, I think he should go look at the replay some more before he, done what he did. He would probably have well. I say he might have a different opinion. I mean, his mind's probably already made up, but nevertheless, I know he's frustrated, and but the first time I was like, all right, he did it, and the second time I was pretty ticked off about it. It was not a smart thing to do. I mean, not only does it make the racing look worse, it makes himself look bad. And you certainly don't want that, especially when we have guys or people watching the race. It's just not a good look.
Robert, final question, and you can thank your sponsors as well. What does this mean for you momentum-wise heading into the playoffs? And obviously you had your share of some crazy accidents along the way tonight, and you survived it and got back to victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, we dodged a few. We got caught up into one, and it's just part of this race. And momentum wise, man, it's gonna. I know I have enough to be able to run with these guys. It's been proved. I mean, it's been shown as far as being able to get these top 5 finishes, getting team points, staying in the top 10, having consistent runs, getting stage points, and all those things. So I know I can run with these guys. You got this field is stacked with good people. I mean, you got Brady, Chris, Cole, Hunter, Taylor, all them guys, man. It's a stacked field. Even Adam, he's real good. He did what he did, but that is what it is. Momentum, going into the next race, I forget where we're going, but it's going to be fun. Trying to ride this out, trying to stay consistent and keep it going all the way through hopefully if I can get to the top, if I can get to the Final Four and get to Homestead, man, it's going to be wonderful.
Indianapolis and Daytona, the next 2 races. Robert, congratulations, man. Big win for you. I'll let you thank those sponsors real quickly.
Yeah, I want to thank Concerns of Police Survivors and guys for coming on board and sponsoring the truck. I'm hoping I'm making them proud, man. I really appreciate what they do, and I want to thank DSR Electric, you guys in the booth. It's I want to thank Brady, all the guys at Mission One, Tim, Phil, Jacob, again Brady, for with our pit strategies and stuff. We go in depth and talk about how this possibly could play out. And them guys, they're the guys who like Tim and Phil who are new to our team. They're learning, they're picking up on things. I think Tim was running well until he got taken out, but want to thank all the guys who make it possible to be able to race here every Monday.
Robbie Richards from Gastonia, North Carolina, picks up his 2nd win this year, surviving a caution-filled race. Even he had his minor setbacks, but he gets it done in the Glass Mechanics 250 here at Bristol. Brady LaBeouf, Stage 1 winner. Somehow you rally back to finish on the podium. It's got to be like a win for you, surviving Bristol, Brady. Did you think it was going to be like this tonight?
Man, I hate short tracks. This is not me. I mean, I win Richmond, and then I'll get a 2nd place finish here tonight.
Yeah.
Win a stage, finish 3rd. I mean, this is just a great points day. Man, I wish I would have got spun out with Robbie, because when Robbie spun out there, he got, I think, with the Joey maybe incident or something. Right before lap 200. Robbie got caught up in it. It wasn't his doing. He just kind of got caught up behind and spun out. And he said, "Well, I'm going to pit." And then I waited to go after. And the thing about tonight is there were so many different strategies. You had to play the track position game. and it just when you fell back there, if you was in the wrong line on the restart, it didn't matter inside or outside, but if you were just in the line that didn't go right off the back, you gave up, 4 or 5 spots, and then another caution would come out. So instead of restarting 10th, you were restarting 16th, like I did on one restart because I was just getting taken advantage of. But no, congratulations to Robbie. He deserves it. Man, all the Mission 1 guys tonight ran well. But no, I mean, we might have to do some more short track racing if it keeps going like this.
Brady,
Uh,
boss man, I'm gonna cut you off right there. One, I agree with you. We talked about during the race. I was like, man, if you ask Brady, he would tell you short tracks are not his thing, but he's ran well this year at them. He's figured it out here recently, and he's happy with how he's performing. But you mentioned all the good things that happened when you use points day, but I mean, it wasn't a great race by any means, outside of maybe the 2 decent green flag runs we got. But what do you go back and look at when it comes to maybe these types of races and say, hey, here's where I could have improved as a driver. Here's where we overall could improve as a driver. I know you'll have more thoughts for the hot lap, so I'll let you save some of those for this week as well.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of thought, bringing the engine power down to 95%, that's the lowest you could bring it down. We kind of experimented with that idea tonight. I thought it was helpful, but at the same time, I still think you got guys that were getting loose and just kind of spinning out on their own. I know there was plenty of incidents where it looked like a pile up or somebody, dumping somebody, but mainly it was the people getting loose. And it's just weird because I didn't really fight the loose issue that much tonight. If I ran a lot on the bottom line on the restarts to try to gain track position, you would heat up the right rear a lot faster, and that's what was causing that. So you would just have to jump to the top lane and just kind of let the tires cool down and just kind of ride there. And it's just tough, man. Nobody wants to just ride around or play the smart game. They all want to, hey, I got fresh tires, I'm gonna go. But the problem is you can restart 20th and hurry up and get to 12th. But once you got to 12th, everybody's so equally on
right.
on talent. It was almost like racing at Talladega for a little bit because you just couldn't go anywhere. You had the people on old tires on the top line, people on the new tires on the bottom line, and just nobody was going. So that's why it almost didn't even want to pit the whole entire race just because track position was so key.
Brady, I want you to thank your sponsors in closing here. You're one of the 9 drivers that have wins to go to the postseason. How exciting do you think this playoffs are going to be once we wrap up the Dash for Cash 2 rounds coming up at Indy and Daytona? And then, of course, your take of trying to repeat as a champion.
Well, I mean, it's cranking up. Silly season starting, the new schedule's out. Drivers feel the pressure to perform right now. If they're having a bad season, if they're on that, one of our drivers, Phil Pappas, was just talking about the cut line. So it's getting tight, especially with these drop races about to start happening. You're about to see these points battles get even more tight. And I just want to give first and foremost, I'm Vegas bound, guys. My wife and me are going to celebrate our birthdays from January and February. We're going to Vegas this week.
There you go.
Our anniversary. We're about to get this party started. So I'm glad that I can go. There's Dean. I'm glad that we can get a great finish tonight going into the weekend. So I might be in a good mood for Vegas. My kids. Shout out to you guys, man. I know Dean. I know these short tracks are grueling for him, producing and whatnot. So shout out to all you guys, Tyler, Wesley. I know, but I know it gets tough at times. I promise you, we'll try to clean it up and get better. But man, everybody that helps me make this thing happen, Mission One Esports, all my teammates, man, we got a great group of guys. Great team points day. Congratulations again to Robbie for getting a victory. I know this means a lot to him. And NRE Power Systems, Cops, Concerns of Police Survivors, DSR Electric, all our sponsors, Surf Pro, Glass Mechanic, just everybody that helps us make this happen. And I'll see you guys next week at Indy.
Have fun at Vegas. Don't put any mattresses outside any roofs. And secondly, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
You're damn right. You're damn
You're
right.
damn
sir.
right. Brady LaBeouf will finish in second. Let's grab the swim driver, Joey Stiers, and he'll finish third. Joey, your take of tonight's race, man. Some highs, some lows. You were up there at the end. If you had another shot at a restart, what would you have done different? But obviously, got to be happy with the podium finish.
Absolutely. I think Brady hit it right on the head. I mean, spent most of the race dodging sheet metal under caution, just trying not to get any damage from all the wrecks going on. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I mean, if we had another restart there, my tires were pretty shot on the bottom. And I know I had who was it in front of me there on that last restart? Anyway, I don't think I had enough on the bottom because Robbie could have such a run on that outside on the restarts. And if you were out there, you were just sailing around people. And that's how I was able to get the last podium spot there. I kind of lucked into it and hopped in right behind Brady and followed him around. So, I mean, it was just real crazy overall. You kind of expect that at the short track. I really didn't expect that many wrecks, but you definitely go in thinking, yeah, I'm probably not going to make it out of this. And it goes to attest that lap 239, my life flashed before my eyes when Robbie and Adam got in that wreck. And if you go back and watch my in-car cam, like I just really had no time to react, and somehow the seas parted and I made it through. So it just we kind of lucked out tonight,
Code
and
Brown.
we got our stage points, and we got what we got. So we'll take that momentum going forward. I like where we're at. I think we've been on the podium the last 3 weeks, maybe. So definitely have the train going in the right direction right now, right before the playoffs.
We're just looking at the Joe. We're just looking at the replay right now of you just taking that 101 machine of Cole, the dying stages of this race across the line. It's going to be very, very close, obviously, but as you said, you say your tires are just about dead, but you got the outside line there, and you got your nose in there, and you got a taste of champagne.
Desperation move, if you want to call it that, Joey, no doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah. I appreciate Cole too giving me enough room there, and we didn't make contact. I was kind of waiting for, to get doored and sent on the wall there on the last lap. It tends to happen at these short tracks and whatnot. But I respect Cole and everything, and that was a good finish at the end there.
Joey, Tyler here in the booth. Before we let you go, and you can thank your sponsors at the end of this question, I just had to say thank you for winning me race picks in the DSR Electric Truck Series this week over Brady. That always helps. But you are the first. Nate Maurer won Dash for Cash last week, didn't perform as well this week. You win Dash for Cash this week. You get to race again for it next week. What can you do next week to prevent the same result that Nate had tonight?
I kind of put the Dash for Cash on the back burner this week, and I was just going for stage points to get as many playoff points as I could right before the playoffs and just kind of add everything up. But at the back of my mind, it was there. Hey, if I'm there at the end, I might be able to get this Dash for Cash. And at the end, I was asking my teammates, I didn't know who else was in the Dash for Cash besides Nate. So I was running top 3. I didn't know if Robbie was in it or Brady was in it. So I'm kind of tickled pink hearing that I won that, but definitely going to have the same strategy next week. Just try to stay up front, get the most stage points I can, and be there at the end.
Before we let you go, man, thank your sponsors, and good luck at Indy. By the way, as he forementioned, all these drivers, of course, as well as Cole Henriksen, will be in the Dash for Cash penultimate race at Indy next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I want to thank our leaders, Dan Gobble and Jeff Sickles and DSR Electric, everybody at my swim racing team and our sister team, Chrome Racing, Millie's Restaurant and Catering, A's Lawn and Landscaping, Jersey Smoke Shops, The Family Handyman, Darren's Nail and Gun Repair, Ladanco LLC, Toyota, you guys in our Nazareth 360 Racing Network booth. Appreciate you guys putting on the broadcasts. And Tyler, I appreciate the shout out in your podcast the other night. I loved hearing that. And me and my fiance were sitting there listening, and just really appreciated what you had to say about me. And I really take that going forward. And of course, I'd like to thank TJ, our race admin, and my fiance Bree and her son Reese for letting me race on Monday nights and watching. So thank you guys.
Joey Stiers from Mackinac, Illinois, the Green Mean Machine, will finish in third, and it's like a win for him. Of course, the driver, Robbie Richards, Brady LaBeouf, Joey Stiers, and Cole Henriksen, those will be the next 4 drivers in the Dash for Cash next Monday night on the 2.5-mile world's greatest race course, the Speedway capital of the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As always, thanks to Biggles, Dean Hopton, Tyler Dittmer. Your final take of tonight at Bristol. I am ready to eat some Carolina's best chicken and barbecue and unwind after a wild, monumental, caution-filled night here at Bristol.
I'm just glad to get to Indianapolis, quite honestly, with you, Wesley. I'm glad tonight's over. But again, congrats for the three guys who figured it out the best. Best of luck for those three, as well as Cole Henriksen moving forward to next week at Indianapolis for the Dash for Cash.
And we can tell you off the record that there is further inspection or further evaluation going on in regards to the Adam Newton situation. I know the race directors and the NASRA officials have already been looking at video. They'll probably continue to look at video to make a decision or a more briefing of a punishment, if need be, if there is one, to the 19 of Adam Newton for what happened on the racetrack between him and Robbie Richards. And obviously there's a lot of things that they're going to look at. All right, so round 13 is down. Oh my God, think about that. Bristol tonight, Monday, 13th race of the year, full moon outside at night, real life, okay, full moon outside. Next week, it's on to Indy, Daytona, and then the playoffs. And we'll have it for you, as always, on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Don't forget about the great NASRA coverage throughout the week, including tomorrow night, the NASRA Sim Racer Hub Xfinity Series. In a couple of more weeks, I'll be actually joining them on the Tuesday night call for some races. Also, you've got the Goat Locker Racing Series for, I believe it's Trucks and ARCA on Wednesday and Thursday. The Cop Series, of course, the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, where it all started for NASRA on Friday night. And then coming up in 2 weeks, every other week, it is the new NASRA MX5 Cup Racing Series on road courses, and I believe it'll all start at Daytona. Follow all the details at NASRA-racing.com. So, good night from virtual Bristol for, of course, Brady LaBeouf, Cody Knott, everybody behind NASRA, race director TJ Moore. He's got a lot to shuffle tonight. Biggles, Dean Hopton, phenomenal job on production for Tyler Dittmer. This is Wesley Outland. Congratulations to Robert Richards. Second win of the year. He survives a wild one in the Glass Mechanics 280 at Bristol.